sound like just the man.
Bro, Left 4 Dead days taught me I am not the one, man.
You hear the witch. He's just like, nope, we're not completing this level.
No, nobody said you need to be Neo. They said zombie bait. There's a difference.
Yeah, I was good with that. Tank was picking up ground and just throwing it at me, and I'm just like, why? What'd I do? I didn't even shoot you.
Oh my gosh.
Too many good memories of that game.
Yeah.
Too many good memories.
Welcome back. Good to have everybody here at the table, our full group for tonight's episode. I have done my best to catch up Eric on where we're at, but as he plays as THEROS, we can.
Eric, you want to give us the recap?
No, don't make him do that.
Gods, and gods.
Yeah, don't make him do that.
And
Want to handle my hammer?
Fornication, all that. Yeah.
Rocking boats.
Oh, there was
the important part.
Oh, you forgot? Did everybody talk about the erupting volcano?
Yes, I did. I did end on the erupting volcano, which is crazy because we just had that happen in real life today. Jeez, I like it.
Yeah. A coupling blessed by the gods.
I will. I'll say the overall journey on the weeks that you guys have been on land and water, adding in Thassa's portion. I want to let you guys know. I don't know who's your treasure keeper. Or your treasurer. Probably Fitz. So Fitz, I rounded up and said you guys have spent about 600 gold coins, putting that on an average of living even just decently. Each of you spending at least 2 gold coins a day. Adding on the cost of your ship travels and stuff like that, and then traveling not only down but then traveling back to Akros, which is, or not even Akros, but your forge, which is where we'll pick up today, is so you can minus like 600 gold coins from your lot.
From each, or
no, just that's a total. That's for the whole travel.
We live in that lavish. Like
no. Yeah, it's very. I literally did like 14 gold pieces per player a week. And then and I did 7 pieces since Apo and Taroxys don't eat a week, and then I added your 300 for your week, at least 1 week of travel on the ocean, which you probably didn't even do a full, but I imagine she would just ask for her her payment up front, and then
we didn't get no discount.
No,
you didn't do that good.
No. She's in debt.
Heidi roll.
They love you, but she loves Praxinos, but
not that much. Though. She got business to run. That's separate. I get it.
Got business. 600 business.
600 divided by 8 is 75.
Yeah. So I don't know how you guys. I don't know if you're doing it each, or if you're just doing it out of this big pile of money that you all have. You can do it.
Broke.
Yeah.
What? I split my the big haul like.
Oh, you guys have decided, are you splitting it, or are you all? Because here's the thing: is Fitz is because if you're going back to Akros to get your haul, right? Or you're going back.
Kind of weird because like we.
So you're going back so you can put it all in the. If you're gonna put it all in the, what do you call it, the bag of holding, then only one person can hold that bag of holding, right? Which you got to really trust that person with everything.
I added the bag of holding to my inventory.
Yeah, because I would think all the money we had on us had to go into the bag of holding. Like it wasn't like the bag of holding was expensive. We weren't carrying that much money. So
exactly.
I think we ended up just doing communal.
So
yeah, but I figured we would all share the wealth of the bag of holding.
So maybe keep most of it, like the major funds, and then like everyone, like every week, puts like 100 in their coin purse.
We get
or
an
something
allowance.
like that, like an allowance from it. You guys have to figure out what that looks like.
I want to go back to the morning after Nick lied to this lady and was like, "Oh, we're going off the war. We're never gonna see you again." And then we just all hopped on the boat. Like, so can you take us to Akros? Can we go to that moment?
I can never predict what my comrades will do. They are quite spontaneous.
Oh my gosh.
No, that was the plan, right? Fresh enough, we were always going to stay on the. No.
It makes sense. Travel and don't we all travel faster?
You were going to travel up the coast, right? A little bit.
Because for a second there, you guys were about to just travel directly off into the north to go into Satessa, and then you were like, "Let's go back to Akros."
Did we decide that? Or did we just
Never.
assume that?
I swear you guys decided to
Never.
go back to Acros,
So we're
but
going
We
to
never
tell me
said
if
we
you
about to
didn't.
go. Well,
No,
yeah,
we-
we were going to
Please
go
tell
back
me
to We never said we were going to walk anywhere from where we are now.
Right, but even if you got to sail back to Melitus and get off, and you got to walk back to Acros. There's no
Oh yeah, sure.
way to sail.
But like,
back
there
to
was
Acros.
never a way we weren't getting back on this boat. Unlike Rockstar,
Right, you're probably gonna get back.
Hey, it's gonna be our last night together. I'm just saying. You want
If
to
he
do?
thought you were going, you could have just traveled up the coast and left the boat. You didn't necessarily need to get back on that boat.
And spent 9 weeks walking up to the.
Theros isn't as big as it looks. If you look at the map, it's like the longest. The longest, what do you call it? Identifier is like 50 miles. So, like what you use to measure. So you'd be surprised how short distance things are supposed to be. They can stretch.
50 miles is like at least 2 days, isn't it?
I get it. Yeah, it should be. D&D says you can travel roughly 30 miles a day, but that doesn't take into consideration there's some video I was watching where some guys did. They tried to do D&D's forced march. Yeah. And they're you have blisters on your feet.
Look, I
even with your
LA
regular
marathon,
march.
that's 20. So 26.2 miles is from Dodger Stadium to Santa Monica.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's
no.
Yeah, but they expect you to
that's
have
not counting the break.
That's
not counting the breaks.
Yeah, man.
You can do 30 miles a day with mounts and spare mounts. Like a real army back then could do 30 miles a day, but we're not equipped like that.
Yeah.
And we have Proxenos, who's only awake for 4 hours.
Yeah,
but we drag him half the time, so it's fine.
So ship is important.
Yeah, so but that's the whole thing. Like if you're on ship, you can travel 24/7.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Also, you finally attuned your minor property Zen for your spear that was created for you. It's a +1, but then you also now have resistance to heat, resistance to fire damage, as long as you're attuned, as long as it's in your hand.
That's a badass spear.
We hooked him up.
Yeah.
Zen, you owe us money.
And that's before I started hammering on things with this fancy hammer.
To be fair, you guys just were like, we can make you this. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Not our fault your spear sucked.
I mean, just think about
It
it,
was
Zen, because
a fucking normal spear.
We got a rep to uphold. You came with us to the forge. We got excited.
And now we've got to make Fitz a magic shiv.
All right, let me stop.
I'm gonna upgrade my shield first, Roxy's. You can upgrade my shield.
Because more AC is what you need.
Yes.
Are you guys going
turn down a magic weapon?
Are you guys going to turn out a magic weapon for Pythias and specifically make it a trident so he has to use it?
I was
For
thinking of a
Pythias, maybe.
trident, and each prong is a tiny bullhead. So it's like
Is a bludgeoning
a
trident?
hexahydrant. No, like a hexahydrant, because each prong will have 2 horns.
Let's just make him a bite-in. It's not like his god will find that offensive.
Do you all hear music?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure because I had lost it for a second. It was coming through mine, but now we're good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all the major updates. So we are going back to the forge, to home base.
Wherever you put us, man. We'll follow you. We'll follow you for that.
All right. I'll just. That's what I thought from what I heard, and everybody said they were going to travel back and then go decide.
That's fine.
So what I'll go ahead and do is we'll begin episode 17. Not in a very grand fashion, but just kind of fading in on the party finally arriving back home. It's probably good to be home or good to be at your place of stay off the road. Another thing I did do before I go full into it is I did update the D&D Beyond campaign link with a map of the forge. I shared that map with you earlier a long time ago, but I also put it there so that you can consult it because it shows you like where your rooms are. If you guys want to really get nitpicky on like which lodgings you're staying in and such as that, you could, or what you've decided to do with certain rooms, but you can at least see where the library is versus where the forge is and all of that. As you arrive home, kind of fast forwarding or allowing you kind of like to see what's transpired. The travel back took you about a week's time and was mostly uneventful. You almost got robbed by some bandits, or what you thought was some shifty characters on the road, but the minute they saw who you were and kind of felt your presence, they kept on walking. They didn't even really initiate, but you felt like it might have been something. But now arriving, you've come back to find that people are still journeying up, making their pilgrimages, leaving different offerings to THEROS. Mati, the blind Cyclops, the keeper of the forge while you're gone, has brought in new flame speakers who guard the surrounding areas, who guide people through, tell them where they can and cannot go. Those same flame speakers have also reestablished, and reactivated those teleportation sigils. So now the one in Proxino's father's room now works and leads directly to the Temple of the Forge, the same one there. And they even have discussed with you the idea of you sending them out into the world to place a sigil somewhere that you'd want them to if you wanted to kind of make travel fast. But they do warn you that, while as unlikely as it is, think of it as like ancient magic and the way the internet works, is like you could easily establish a sigil on the island that you just came from, or in the Skola Vale. But if anyone were to ever learn your spoken word, then they could traverse directly into your home. So that is the danger of making it, but it could make travel a lot easier. Your word, unless you decide to change it at some point, the flame speakers give you kind of like your passcode to make this thing activate, is Dios Ignis. It means God's fire, and that will activate your sigils. Hixus has gone along this journey with you, more from the tired man that he was. He's gotten a decent shave now, and he is so excited to get into the forge and to start trying to rework his wings and get them back in order. Within a day, you guys notice him go bursting out of one of the holes in the caverns and flying out into the sun, and for a moment everyone thinks he's gone, but he returns and brings down those like bronzed and like white wings and lands these arcanic devices, and they kind of fold back up and become very sleek backpack, but they almost become part of his back. And then he pulls them off and he hands them to Telmoon or Taraxis. He could have kept them, but he pretty much shares with you that as it is an invention, he got to do it. He got to fly as high as the sun. He does not want to test Haley again. He's off to try something new. Maybe he'll test Thassa this time, or someone else. But for now, he hands those wings over to you. Those wings can be worn and by anyone in the party for the most part. They might slow Taraxis down a little bit if he tries to use them, but they, similar to a fly spell, they cost an action to use to basically deploy. They give you a flying speed of 60, and you're able to fly for about 10 minutes before you have to make an arcane check. Anything beyond that, they might continue on for another 10, or they could start to plummet, and you would have to try to crash land out of the sky. But they are now this group, as you continue to stack amounts of treasure and ridiculous godlike items and artifacts added to your list. I mentioned Mati, and yeah, so overall, I also mentioned Zen's spear, kind of attuning with him, and I will flash back momentarily to when the party came back to the boat a week ago. You saw Proxinos cooking up breakfast with the biggest smile, the biggest grin on his face that you'd ever seen before, and his hair was really messy. And he's kind of like just stirring a pot there on the party. But we'll, pick up here in the forge now, and I'll turn it over to you all to see what this group does next.
Those quite nice wings. Honestly, seems terrifying if we have a flying Talmoon going in the air.
I mean, I was thinking Zen, but who knows? What's the weight capacity of these things? So we can't make a Pegasus? I can't make a Pegasus now? Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
Oh no.
Zen is my Pegasus
Centaur.
mount.
He is medium
I'm
sized.
so mad I didn't think about that. But yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
So Roxy's, I have a brilliant
That's
idea.
all
We
you,
want to
Mel.
make a
That's
Pegasus
all
That's on
on
me.
Centaur.
you.
That's all on me.
Would I have to like tie it around his stomach as like to put it on the horse part? Or can we put it on the human part and still let him fly?
That would definitely have to go on the horse part.
I think we'll have to put it on the horse part.
I'll
It'll be
try to
funny
make
to
my
see it
man
on his
slide.
back and his horse part just hanging,
Just
like
dangling.
hanging out of the sky. Just
It would be like an
dangling.
alligator floating in water. Like, yep.
But to make him more Pegasus-like, I think we'd have to go with it being attached around
Why
the
does he wear his
around the
pants?
torso, around the midsection of the horse body. So we could wear it almost like a saddle.
Yeah.
That
No
would
attunement
activate.
required. Just the fly spell for the day. Are we saying it requires attunement?
It doesn't. It's an actual artifact, so you can just lock it on. I think attunement is more so he wasn't really attuned, but he got to get used to it, right?
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
we're
going to be
passing this
kind
around.
of
This is for
kind
fun.
of sketchy the first time he tries to fly. Maybe
All right,
Are we
let's
gonna need
recreate the
to
Wright
pay for a
brothers.
runway?
And it was
No runway.
Yeah,
Hey,
everything's a
Tabaxis.
runway.
Toss me. No runway.
Oh, that's actually a good point. If I get huge, I could still toss Zen.
Jeez.
But it was once per day. The
Um,
uses of the wings, or
It was. Oh yeah, I don't have that written down. I just have 60.
Yes, once per day.
okay.
That gives the motors and the gears and stuff a chance to rest.
Huh.
Yeah, we'll pass these around, but I definitely want to piss off Elliot myself if I can. So I'll give him a whirl.
I think you're the best candidate to try them out.
Oh.
I'll watch from a safe distance.
So Pythias, that's a no for you.
I want to see what happens to you first.
I see.
So, Teroxys. You had the hammer of Perforos. Are you planning on making something in the forge?
If I have my way, I'm going to lock myself in the forge for a good week and just have at it. But it really depends on our time constraints. We have places to be and things to do. So if I find the time, of course. I owe you that pillow.
Little smile on Roxo's face. I am sure it'll be the best pillow that I've ever seen. I also need some time, Apo. I think that maybe something more lies in the library. Maybe something detailing how we can undo what has been done, what I have done to you. Would you like to assist me with this?
Sounds like a good idea.
What about the rest of you?
Well,
If he's in the forge, I'm being there with him. That's just how it is.
Anyone want to come with me to see Baramon? He's a great guy, really great. Maybe I'd check in.
Slowly looking at Asteros. You spent some time over there, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
You introduced us to Baramon. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I had to. So that's that. You kind of throwing you under the bus a little bit.
No,
but you
it's
had
okay.
it
I'm glad you
eventually. And that was because you had kind of a.
Some very big guys. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
You kind of had some connections to Baramon, and I haven't even really flushed that out. I think
that's his pixie dust dealer. No, we understand.
He's a pixie dust dealer, and
I'm only 3 videos in. I was gonna be done by next time, but RSV got up with me. So
how you see the stars.
Yes, Fitz, I will join you.
Oh, thanks. It's always so fun not to go places alone. Anybody? Anyone else?
I mean, I'd kind of mess things up. Maybe I'll come with and just kind of keep my mouth shut, unlike last time.
That's a great idea. Let's do that.
And idea before we go. Maybe he knows about the Temple of Farika. That
great. Yes, we should ask him about that.
Mm-hmm.
Proxima, so you're not going to go visit your mom and your brother?
There's a teleporter to go there to my house.
To her room. Yes, I forgot.
It's to my father's office.
Are we gonna like make more of those, you guys?
I figured that's how everybody got there, though. Like they're not walking the 3 days to the city, right? They just knock, we just show up in their house, just disrespectful every time.
Well, I mean, I could talk to them beforehand if you guys wanted.
You have sending?
Yeah. I've had it for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to burn a third level spell, go ahead.
If we can have one more of these teleportation circles, what if we put it on the ship?
Oh, do they work on a moving thing? That's so cool.
I don't know. It would be really neat if they did.
One of the flame speakers nearby, listening, hardly can see his face, kind of few boils on it. Kind of wretched looking fellow, but hidden by the hood. They work wherever we put them.
Oh, that's so cool.
You don't think Ithasa wants us just popping up whenever we choose?
I don't know. Maybe she took a liking to some of us more than others.
I mean, if we were ever to trust anyone with a teleportation from Perforos, it would be Ithasa and her crew.
If you know where we can meet this Ithasa, I can definitely have a group of flame speakers go to her and offer the sigil to be it will take a ritual, and if she allows, we can place it on her ship. It will be permanent though, so I'm not sure if you would like to send a letter with us or something, and maybe some type of offering or gift to this Ithasa.
We'll send Proxenos. It's fine.
Ah, I see.
Maybe this is more to think about in the future. I mean, we worked with her, but I don't know.
Maybe we're not at that level yet.
Well,
it could be presumptuous.
Not to mention, boats sink a lot.
Well, where else will we put it?
I was just saying that that storm almost took us out.
Thinking other temples of Perforos in other major cities so that we could teleport.
That might. Well, if we're going to Satessa, maybe we want to put a circle there.
Ooh, what a great idea!
Melithus will most definitely have a major temple to Perforos, as it has a temple to every god. Satessa could have one. You would have to go there to find out.
If they don't, we're gonna build one. You know how we do. Missionaries. That's our true calling.
Yes, this seems to be.
Next, we'll have TravelerCon.
And you have your Fitz. You have your brain messages. So I mean, if we find a place that's a good candidate, you can just tell the flame speakers.
Exactly. Thank you for remembering my awesome brain speaking abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Proxinos, you go alone to see Mother, or is it?
Didn't we have our majority of our gold locked away at their house? So for us to put that
I
in
thought
the
it was
bag
at the
of holding.
temple.
I was at the temple, but
I thought it was at the
yeah,
temple as well.
Was it? Okay, then I'm misremembering.
We talked about where it was going, but we ended up leaving it at the
yeah.
temple.
I thought their family was kind of shady, considering that his little brother was trying to rob us.
We were nervous about the whole stealing our money thing. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember.
So
I should go and meet them. Yes. Then I'll come back to study the books. I think that's more proper.
you arrive in your father's study to see it has been to see that it is similar to where it was the way you left it, but you've noticed a few things have been restored to their natural state. You know, maybe they're little things like which books he kept on his shelf or near his desk during that time when the imposter was your father. You could tell that stuff has been removed. The sigil is now barren and open. It is not covered by the carpet as you materialize there, and you find ranks and files of your family militia or your guard that are there, who all are quite happy to see you. Your mother arrives home from her work out somewhere in the city within the hour and is happy to see you, embraces you, and you catch up over, maybe tea, and you learn that Medios has gone out to lead a group of Acroan soldiers or hoplites, which is not unheard of. Part of his duty. He's typically not going to be in the most dangerous part of potential battle, but he's on an outpost in the near Scophos in Minotaur territory. Part of one of the Wonder, and so he's camped there. He's doing his. He's visiting there for the month, so he's not home. But other than that, other than catching up, other than I don't know if there's anything else he might be looking for. I will also share that the mother does share that in the time that you've been gone, there have been more reports, there have been more people. Their sickness has been spreading and going around Akros. It seems to come on by a plague of pestilence, and many of the mages and the arcane doctors and have done their due diligence to keep the creatures away, but now they've done a good job of that, but now they are trying to figure out how to heal the sick. And so far, their greater restoration spells and their spells and their magics, their medicines have not worked. But other than that, which you already kind of know a little bit about, which just allows you to know that it has started to spread to Akros.
Yeah, I'm kind of responding to that. I have heard that another group of adventurers was seeking the cure, going to the underworld to get it.
Your mother responds, letting you know that she has heard this same rumor and hopes that they are successful. She does mentioned that if they fail, that she has heard that the only place where there are cures for everything are on the island of Scophos, which is mostly dedicated to Pharika.
Island of Scophos.
In that passing, in that conversation, where do we find Apodexis and Taroxes, maybe even Pythias doing over the next, and how many, so it sounds like with Fitz is going into the city, which I imagine Fitz would have, actually Fitz and whoever's going with her would probably want to take the teleportation sigil into Proxinos' house as well to go into the city instead of taking the 3 days journey. So you're on your way to Baramon right now. Is there anything else that anyone else is doing that maybe I missed?
I do want to stop at the lady who's been making all of our patches and commission her to make a Helioid haters patch.
Okay.
Just to make him even more angry at us. And hopefully she'll take the commission.
You find that she's a little taken aback by this request. She's not against. She's not even really like, she doesn't necessarily seem like a lady that worships Heliod, but she's always a little terrified of doing something that outwardly offends the gods.
You know what you could do is you could do just like one of Heliod's face, and then maybe I could just buy like some red thread and a needle, and I could just stitch like a little X over it on myself, so that I do it, and you just make the pretty. You don't even know. You could pretend you don't even know.
Persuasion check.
28.
Oh. Okay, that 28 will override her nat 20. She was definitely not feeling this, and she's like, she looks at you like, you'll stitch the red, you'll stitch the rest. I'm just going to do the circle,
and I'll think about it for a day. So like, maybe tomorrow I'll change my mind. I won't even do it.
She says, we'll get to work. She said, I'll do these myself. Just you be careful.
Yeah, we will. We met him. Wasn't the nicest.
He saved my son when he was young, but I understand.
That's so nice.
She's like,
but to us, he was not that nice.
I understand. They are gods. I mean, and then she kind of gets to work. She's like, and she's gotten a good relationship with Fitz, where she's like, that's why like Fitz asked for it. I can do this. You guys are the bronze bullies. So far, you've brought a lot of respect, and I think her shop has probably been doing really well.
Anytime someone is asking about where I get my stuff, I always send them to you. You're the best, and we've been all over the place.
I'm Commander Shepard, and these are my favorite threads on the Citadel.
Asteros, Zen. I know Asteros, not to put you, but you've been sleeping for more than Proxinos and more of this adventure than anyone. What might he be up to? What might he, as much as he's trying to take in of everything that's going on, who might he go to try to get more information, or does he spend most of his time praying?
Well, I've been thinking about Proxinos a lot and his role in all this, and I believe it's for good, but we need to keep an eye on him for now. Help me for DM. Is there anyone else in this area that I do know? Like,
yes, you actually had some strong connections with Proxinos' mother.
That's right.
Meaning that when they first got home, she introduced you. And that connection was she was using you as her like oracle, as like her kind of go-to, her guide, her spiritual guide.
Okay.
You've been a spiritual guide, you know, so
Okay.
it originally was playing you up as and so in that way. And I think when the group got themselves into a hairy situation in the games, you were also able to coordinate with the mother to hire another group, another party to aid them during that battle. They don't know about that, and you're now learning about that. That other group fought below the floorboards of the actual Colosseum or the actual arena while they were fighting above, keeping new waves of enemies at bay for them. That group has now become the group that you're starting to hear about, the Fleecebane Lion Company, that are going into the underworld.
Okay.
And maybe you secured them through some connection with Baruman or hearing about them and so forth.
Okay.
Well,
okay. Give me a moment.
Yeah, I'll give you some moment.
Get the pace of the game.
Otherwise, I mean, if everyone, if Troxy's and Tillman are spending their time kind of in the forge, if everyone's
do you have any
kind of
special requests, do people need anything?
Yeah,
trying to use
I'll kind
money
of
to
move
make
on.
something.
I'll move on to Baruman if we have nothing else.
I think the only thing that Apodexis would be doing would be searching the library for any.
Yes, you did say that.
So,
and then Proxinos had mentioned trying to help you with that, but I know he went back to see us. So, you know, maybe with the Proxinos' help, would you give me an advantage intelligence check?
Sure.
Or investigation check.
Investigation, cool. That's going to be 15 and 12. So 15.
Okay. So far, this stuff is way over your head. It's like everything that you're reading, everything that you're finding, it's almost like as quickly as it makes sense, it's suddenly like, I'm lost. But for the most part, you seem to not find, after spending several hours, Apo, anything that looks like an easy way, other than what the party had told you about, which is finding that that like tomb or that sarcophagus that would grow a new form for you to transfer your soul over into. You do find a passage in a book about that is more about like honoring and prayer to the gods, and there are writings about if one can meet a god, of course, if they can commune with one and literally devote themselves, they can sometimes get a prayer answered, almost like a wish. You know, that would be as far as you know, that would probably be the only other way that you're able to you know, make this happen. But you do know that when Mati sees you, this you know, kind of walks around in these heavily shrouded, very large, intimidating Cyclops. But he's very calm, he's very nice, and he seems to kind of move around with his cane, and sometimes doesn't even need to walk with it. But he does wear like a little shroud over his eyes of purple, where you can see the large indentation where there should be an eyeball in that socket. And he shares with you, also reminding you that of what your you know, your party also knows about turning you back.
So I think then the only thing that Apodexis would do, then, having read that, is he would probably spend time praying to Perforos for some kind of guidance and service, almost as if a prepayment for services rendered.
Can I have a religious check?
We're proud of you either way.
That is going to be 19.
You gain 1 piety point to Perforos.
Yeah.
And what that translates to you as you're feeling is the prayer is that when it's over, while you hear no booming voice, you, unlike Taroxys and Telmoon, you have never seen the burning bush, you've never seen the burning tree, but you feel content, and you almost felt like whatever you just prayed, like someone heard it, right? That feeling of like kind of a warm feeling, like, okay, content in your soul, kind of in your spirit. You're like, I'll do what I can, and if it happens, it happens. But you feel that. So back in the city, when you meet Baruman, he doesn't have Fitz. Who's with Fitz? Who went with Fitz again? Oh, Soros?
Said I was going to keep my mouth shut.
And Pythias,
but I'm gonna,
yes.
Yeah.
So they don't take you to those little dark quarters of his. They tell you that he's over at Heliod's Light, and you guys arrive there at Heliod's Light, which is it's an inn right next to an outdoor, like kind of like outdoor patio bar, and the men and women, there's a satyr there playing like a flute. The people are kind of like dancing. You can see that they're walking around with drinks, like they're definitely enjoying their day. Everyone there seems to look like they just have like wealth in Akros. The men and the women all look like they've never served a day in the military, which is strange because Akros is a place of that. So maybe they're out of towners, or maybe maybe the nobility, maybe the structure of Akros is slowly changing. And the place does seem quite new. And so when you meet Baruman sitting like in his own little section, the only best way I could describe it is almost like a cabana. This satyr is sitting out. He's got his shirt off. It's like taco meat is out. He's got a drink in one hand. It's like a spiced wine. And he's like, he looks over and he sees you coming. He's like, Fitz, good to see you. How are you?
Oh
He's
my
got
gosh.
rings on every finger. He's just, hi. Pythias and Asteros. We've dealt with each other. The quiet one. He's very helpful. What brings you back?
Well, gosh, hi. Looking great. This place looks so spiffy.
Strokes his horns.
I just wanted to thank you for getting us in touch with Deimos and let you know we totally talked to him.
The painting. What did you find out?
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. It's of this real place, and we're totally gonna go there. And I can't wait. We tried to find the painter, and it turns out he's in the place. We should have just gone there first. Whatever, it's fine. So all the painting people, like if you look at it really, really closely, they're moving. It's changing. The whole painting is changing. It's pretty cool. So so we're going to go find out more, but I just wanted to thank you. It was so nice of you to make that connection for us. And then I like shift the bag over in front of us and and the connection you gave us for this bag of molding, which is now ours.
Happy to help.
Worked really hard. Just wanted to say thank you.
I'm glad. I appreciate when others come and say thank you, but you know what's better than even thank yous? Returning the favor. Did you find anything about my pixie dust collection?
No, not quite. I wanted to check in with you and see if everyone's still missing, because I know the shipment was like 3 days late last time we were here, and that was like forever ago.
Yeah, they're still missing.
No one? Oh, shoot. Okay. And are they in the Setessan Wood?
It would have been the Setessan Wood. Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, you know what? We're all over it. We're totally checking it out for you. I just wanted you to know we haven't forgotten.
He kind of looks and sees Pythias kind of look at Fitz like, really? Triton, Pythias, has the rest of this group decided that you will investigate this for me? Or is she being a little salesperson here?
We're going to a lot of places, and that's one of them.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming back to say thank you. We're all out here just, living our best lives and, trying to live it before everyone gets sick and dies.
Dang. Are people doing that?
It seems to be a problem here in Akros and all these big cities, but I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Is that why there is like a suspiciously large amount of wealthy looking people here right now? They're just hanging out.
Yeah, everyone here thinks we, I have a good amalgamation of cocktails and medicines that I think even Farika would want on her shelves, if you know what I mean. So I'm feeling fine. Even though I could use some pixie dust.
Oh my gosh, couldn't we all?
Yeah, my business could use it. I could use some. It would be really great right now. And the sun and Elliot and all of that. But you let me know. Stay in touch. And can I have?
Yes. I'm gonna lean towards Fitz and be like, "Should we ask him about the temple, the Farika temple?"
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Mr. Bermond, sir, excuse me. You don't by any chance in the Setessan Wood area know of a temple to Farika?
There are definitely more than one temple to Farika. There are many temples to Farika spread all across the THEROS, and definitely more than one in the Setessan Wood, I'm sure of. But any kind of like the information I gave you about my contacts and where they were last seen, they did most of their business, I want to say, in a temple of Farika that was originally long ago dedicated to Farika. So, yes, it could easily be that one.
Yes, it seems my notes are sparse in that area. I can't quite recall.
Can I have a charisma check?
Uh-oh.
From everyone that's there.
Everyone.
Okay.
Fitz, you get advantage because you're kind of the face of the party right now.
I got a natural 20.
Oh, of course you did.
11. It's just charisma, right?
Okay, yes, charisma. Yeah,
16.
Just kind of seeing if he's vibing. So he seems to be vibing, of course, clearly with Fitz. Fitz is his connection, and he trusts Fitz. And you're starting to understand that Barman. You're also starting to read that Barman is he doesn't. You're starting to read behind the lines that while he has a very friendly face, he doesn't care about your thank yous. He is waiting for you to hopefully make this thing happen for him. He's hoping you are still someone who can be trusted, but because of that, he decides to also share little things that he knows. And so he shares with Fitz that word on the street. Tyrannica has not been speaking to the people very much. You want to call her the monarch or the queen. And word on the street is that she's sick as well.
Oh, well, that wouldn't be very good. I do have it on good authority that there are people also working on a solution.
Good to hear. Not that
you're worried.
I'm not really worried about her, but I heard that you went and got to do the whole pageant and parade yourself before, the queen. So that's fantastic. So I want to make sure you stay in your good
That was really nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Can't be. Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, you think so? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, you share some information, get some information back and forth, and he goes, "Well, I'm glad you came and saw me." He goes, "Well, came all this way, do something for you," and he gives you a little vial, a little potion, and clearly it's a potion of healing. Regular potion of healing, and he just thanks you for coming over and giving him an update. And he kind of gives you a look, Fitz, and he's like, we're here.
Oh, we're here. Oh, and just to warn you, don't be surprised if at some point I start talking into your brain. I could do it. I might do it. If we got questions and we're far away, I could do it.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming by. You guys are welcome to stop by. You're welcome to have any jug of this juice that we're having here. And she goes, oh, and Fitz, one other thing. The Acro and these hoplites, these soldiers, they've been coming around my business a little too much. And some of them are tied to the House of Christos. Can you make sure they stay off my back? Can you fix that?
I'll see what I could do for you, my friend. I'll talk to the right people.
Got a business to run, and
what are they bothering you about?
He looks at Pythias like, "Why are you asking?" Because there's
like, just so we can, I mean, so we can tell them what to back off from. I don't want to know your business. I just want to know what they're doing to you.
They're trying. I run an underground fighting ring, a labyrinth for minotaurs and other humanoids who choose to face them, mostly minotaurs. And let's just say the state of Akros does not find that to be honorable. They don't find the way I get my fighters, my gladiators, to be honorable.
How do you do that? Does that mean we can't sign up? Because I know some people who would be so down to fight.
Ooh, well, they're always welcome.
Right? Okay.
Are you speaking of that big golden, magnificent build of a bull
maybe?
that you have? Oh, yes. He is quite handsome. Especially being the build of THEROS. But if he'd like to fight, I think he would do very well. And there's some good money to be made. There's some good money to be made.
I will let him know. Oh my gosh, Barman, you're the greatest.
Seems like a great way for him to blow off some steam.
I know.
Exactly.
I know. Yeah, they probably don't also like that there are minotaurs from Scophos in the underbelly of the city. But we've got things under control.
Yeah, totally. Okay, great. We're just gonna go, and I'll talk to you later.
So time passes, and eventually you all meet back up, and continue to turn it back over to you all.
Oh man, that's nerve-wracking talking to that guy.
He is a character.
Do you think if we talk to the people, the soldier people, that they'll actually not bother him, or are they gonna bother him more?
Depends on how well you talk.
I was afraid you were gonna say that. Oh.
You're very good at that, Fitz.
You are.
In the moment, I just kind of go blank, and it just comes out. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time.
Well, somehow it all works out.
Oh, that sure is lucky, isn't it? Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
That was half the reason I came, just to watch you work. It's entertaining.
Throw some finger guns. What's everyone else up to?
You cut to Proxnos sleeping on an open book in the study, near the study room where Apo is.
And Apo is beginning to carve the symbol of Perforos into his chest.
I imagine Telmoon with a pair of tongs deep in the forge holding a bronze bar over an anvil as Taroxy's double hands this giant hammer just smash.
Is there anything in particular that they're trying to make? Or have they just been making things for...
There's lots of things we like to make now. That's all you.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering if what are they making? They could just be making things for the forge or to help people out around. I don't know. I'm just wondering what they were making. So they're just in the forge. So yeah, as time passes on, as everyone kind of does their thing, and the whole the next day rolls around, right? So you probably have all been home for 2 days. And there's a chance for Fitz to now, if you can do it in role play, or you can say, everything that I just shared, you now all know. Same thing with Proxinos. You could easily be have updated everyone, and more decide about like what the group's next move is. Kind of like a team meeting, like where do they meet and what do they talk about, and then what do they do?
Shields. If we want to backlog that, we've been working on 2 shields in particular.
Okay.
A small buckler for Tomun and a more longer oval shield for Proxinos.
Okay.
They're like, Talmoon doesn't like it described as a small buckler for Talmoon. Talmoon thinks it's a nice full-size shield for a full-size person.
For now, the things that you create, they will. I know you're creating them with this amazing hammer, but you never know which thing you make is going to be magical. So right now, 2 shields are created, regular shields, and they cost the materials that it costs you to make them, and so whatever that is in the adventurer's handbook, or the shield cost, is what it is that you make those shields.
Like they cost like a regular shield.
Like a regular shield. It's a regular shield.
Okay, so I'm like,
not much. So yeah, if you could have bought the shield, you guys now can make the shield. It's like you're literally making adventures. You're your own supply shop right now. Mm-hmm. I still wonder how in the world, in my mind, I'm still trying to visualize a pillow being made in the forge.
Well, no, that's he never meant an actual pillow. He's only observed that that Proxinos sleeps on his shield as a pillow.
Got it. So he's gonna make him this like. This
are you a pro metal druid?
I use metal. I was trained by Acros.
You carry a wooden stick, bro. You gotta let us know if you're a pro metal druid or not. You gotta let us know.
I'd use metal armor.
In fact, to sweeten the pot, Teroxes makes sure that Proxinos' shield, the face of it is shined to a mirror polish so that it reflects the stars.
Cool.
And did we ever say what happened to the Medusa that was in here?
She did.
Yeah.
Marty just
we
buried
still
her
have her
corpse
head.
Yeah, you guys
We've
still
had
have
it this whole time.
That's what I was going to ask, because
in a bag.
Because if that was the case,
that's what I love. You guys have so many things that if you don't track them.
Wait, so we have a Gorgon head?
It's like that RPG where you're going through your items list, like
the one that made me into stone.
Yeah.
So I was gonna, if we did have it, then I was gonna ask Teroxes and Telman to make Apodex's shield with her head on it.
I was just thinking an even better idea would be to bronze everything of the head except the eyes so that it's more of a non-perishable item.
I love the look on Mel's face. He's just
we put in her head on the shield.
There's a chance that fails. You will have to make a check for that. I like it, but you will have to make it. You have to
if it's an item that isn't perishable, I think I can remember to put it in my inventory. I don't know if I'll homebrew that.
Question, Mel. Can I use my inspirations for other people?
Yes.
I've already got advantage on tool checks. I don't know if it'll.
If you of course, if you like role play and describe how you think you're using that, right? As long as you can make that makes sense to me. Yeah.
I think our meeting was happening back at the forge, or where everyone is, and
Proxinos, maybe you could let your mother know that we have some friends in the city that we'd like to not have worsened relations with. So maybe
it would be best coming from you.
I had an idea on that. You're talking about Barrowmon's people, right?
All right, Mr. Cop.
I don't have to be, the representative here. I'm just sharing ideas.
No, let us know.
What if we conduct an inspection by going down and competing in the fighting pits, and just say that everything's above board.
Go in undercover combat.
We're gonna inspect the legal fighting ring and come back and say, "Hey, it looks good."
The illegal fighting
we're
is
totally gonna
not
dominate.
illegal.
Well,
If there are no more minotaurs, then we can report there are no minotaurs.
I don't think we can kill all of them, just like one at a time.
baby steps.
What? Just like thinking about it, how well do you think Proximos like bringing this to his mom, like this plan, or like we inspected this place, it's fine.
Sorry,
Just a little white lie.
I know that Proximos, it would be a matter of bringing it to her, and he has a feeling that as strong as his mother is, it could go either way, right? It really depends on his approach and how he does it. So again, it will require a check. It's going to require him selling mom in the best possible way on this, and maybe I'll say that making it clear why you need Baruman, more than you do not need him.
Just to be clear, we're dead set on this. You kind of like a bit of a strained face about Proximos.
I just thought that Tyroxes would love to go fight some minotaurs. It seems like a perfect opportunity.
Oh yeah. And I kind of told Baruman that I had some friends who would totally be down to fight.
I would think Baruman would be the type of person we don't want as an enemy.
Yeah. Is it Proximos? Is it something that like maybe we don't talk to your mom about? We just go like straight to, I don't know, like the chief of police or something? Is that a thing?
I mean, I can talk to my mom about this, but
if you're worried,
honestly, it could go either way.
Should we send THEROS?
Do you need someone who's really persuasive? I mean, I don't know how I do it, but sometimes it's like, dang.
You are her spiritual advisor, THEROS. She might listen to you.
I have a connection. Yeah. I will go.
Oh, am I starting to break out in a cold sweat?
Let's go.
According to Telman, everyone has a connection to her.
That is.
Anyway.
Oh boy.
We'll leave that out of today's negotiations. Thank you.
And
Is this a different circle of life we're talking about?
Later that evening, Proximos finds his mother, Artemisia, kind of stargazing, looking at the Nyx itself, maybe looking for a sign from the gods out in the courtyard. Hopefully you all can hear me. I know that my visuals are slowing down. You probably can't see me. But hopefully whenever that catches up, that'll be fine. But yes, I'm still here as long as you can hear me. And therefore, Proximos, and she sees as you guys enter the gates or come from inside the house as you've teleported in. And she doesn't flinch as you guys approach. And she looks and gives you a nod of good evening. And what do you tell
her? Good evening.
Good evening, my son. Good to see you, as always. And THEROS, it has been some time.
It has, my lady.
I know you had to lay low, but I thank you for what you've done to make sure my son is safe. What brings you to before me this evening?
Well, and as you know, we were as a group going around doing trying to solve different issues or problems that have been around, and we have had the assistance and help of a Pheromond. And honestly, I actually don't know what would have happened if he did not provide us with shelter and information on some very important things.
Ahriman is a sniveling, sneaky, drug-dealing, slave-driving criminal. Do not let his smooth ways fool you. And Asteros, as you know, we have had to use him from time to time, and I am not proud of having a connection. But it is not my house who wants him taken down, though we would not mind to see it. You are asking me to look the other way, son. This is not the way of the House Cristo. Why? Is it? And she looks to Asteros. Do the gods have a plan that I do not see?
Asteros looks over at Proxenos and
Proxenos looks over at Asteros.
And and then he looks back and says, much is planned for your son, and maybe we should. I don't like his ilk any more than you do, but maybe there may be something in this that the gods see that has not been revealed yet. Maybe we should put a little trust in this. Remember, your son is, many great things are in store for him, and maybe we should see where this takes us.
You have been wise, and Proxenos, you have not. You have been touched by the gods, and I just don't know. I can see what I can do. Oh, she kind of tries to breathe out, like having me protect a criminal. Persuasion check. Both of you roll. I'll take the highest result.
All right. 14.
Can I use one of the inspirations?
You may.
She found us the next morning, bro.
Soft 20.
Okay. So it is the 14 was, you know, as Asteros is pleading and showing him, it is her son, of course, that wins her over. She grasps him by his shoulders and pulls him in and says, I trust you. And I will make sure he is not shut down and or arrested for as long as I can. I will keep any men of mine who are on that detail out of that area of the city. Fair?
Thank you.
And then she looks at you and goes, did you grow? Or is more hair on your face? Like, you just, something's a little different. Is your posture a little straighter? Like, what is it?
We'll talk about this another day.
Astros puts his hand on Proxena's shoulder and says, he is maturing, my lady.
He is a good company for that. I trust, Asteros, that you will make sure my boy is continually safe and protected.
I will, as will his companions, but
good.
We will not be as sufficient at this as the gods themselves.
This is true. And so, yeah, you have won her over on that front. As I continue to try to close things out and make this a little less slow on my end.
So glad we don't have to fight your mama.
Oh, God.
I imagine Fitz is back at the forge, like with her fingers crossed, like, please, 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 please.
We just helped her hire all those guards. We don't want to have to kill them.
Oh,
Are we hanging out at the forge all day? We're going back to the house
Yeah.
for food, you guys.
What do you guys decide?
Do?
I'll allow you guys continue. I am trying to fix everything is like crashing right now. Give me a moment, try to get things back up, close a couple things
Yeah,
out.
let's relax for a little bit.
But
Roxy's
not
and Moon head back into the forge and
maybe decide
try to make Abadexis did request a shield. We haven't made it for him, so maybe we'll go back into the forge and do that.
Can everybody hear me?
Roxy, if you don't mind.
we can hear you now.
Yeah, in and out.
In and out.
Yeah.
I'm in and out. Okay, I may drop off and log back on. Let's see here.
Yeah, do what you do. We'll talk for a little bit.
Talk
Decide
a
what
little
we're gonna do.
Mm.
Yeah, Astros. Thank you. I couldn't have done without you.
I didn't do it. You did. And I knew you would.
I never sweated that much in my life. Not even.
Not
even when.
The boat.
Yes. When I saw my would-be father be turned into a dragon and try to kill us, but that's a whole another story.
Well, there will be more ahead.
As simple as it is to just teleport over.
Yeah.
Informing you. So about my mother.
Oh God, she's gonna stick the whole army on us, isn't she?
You see that he's drenched in sweat and she agreed to help us and to keep Baramon out of chains.
Good. So House Christos branded pixie dust.
There are other houses that still are looking to put him behind bars, but House Christos won't be a part of it.
Just show a good faith. It's a solid move on our part.
Maybe they'll succeed, but it won't be our problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking by this. I just didn't say it. He looks over at Parxinos.
I'm just don't want any more issues. My house has been through some stuff. I wanted to cover.
So you don't want to come with us to restart the supply of pixie dust?
I will attend to travel, but I don't know if I want to get my hands in on that specific. If you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, speaking of things just coming out, I don't think we had all agreed that we were definitely going to do that, but I mean, Fitz, you kind of committed to it.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, it's kind of on the way.
And that is why I will be traveling with you.
We could just check it out, and if it's super sketchy, then I send him a brain message. I'm like, hey, whoa, not doing that. Whoops.
Whatever gets us more pixie dust, I am interested in. It was a great time.
I had so much fun, you guys. It's a real good bonding experience. Parxinos, you were asleep.
Yes. I saw the aftermath of the destruction.
Yeah.
Deep conversations. And then
to
it
watch this
devolved
episode.
into we need to transform Zen into a crab and then put the wingsuit on him.
Oh,
I don't
like it at all.
You got 8 arms, bro. Stun with all of them.
Oh, we also decided to make your job way easier. We're splitting the party so everybody's taking a different section of the map.
No, don't do this. Don't do this. Oh man, that's cool. Oh, damn, that would be rough. I don't even know how to figure that one out.
2 going to Miletus, 2 going to Satessa, 2 going to Scophos.
Yeah, we'll just be literally sitting here going, okay, what are you guys doing? All right, what are you two doing? Okay, what are you two doing? But sorry about that, guys. I apologize.
Fine, man.
It happens.
All good.
We're good.
You're very good.
So they've been talking. You can maybe help me. You guys can DM for me for a second and catch me up on where we're at, and can take over from there.
Kind of a big moment between Proximos and Apodexis is Apo Proximos tells Apo that transform into an ample rot was weighing on his conscience, and Apo is now rolling with it and is fully embracing being a ample rot now.
He's decided to carve the symbol of Perforos into his chest, and he's gonna make sure that Telmun and Taraxes look at it and see that it's done correctly.
So he's gonna turn away from this idea of trying to go back to what was.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna go back to it. It's just he's become okay with the idea,
right?
And knows that there's too much at stake to even worry about that at that point, especially when he doesn't need to eat, he doesn't need to breathe. It's to his advantage. So
I know we probably would have taken a break around this time, but since I had technical difficulties, hopefully everybody had a chance to do that. If you guys need that, if not, we can just kind of keep rolling. If you guys are comfortable,
yeah.
All right,
we're all good.
So if I'm
Is Eric
not
back?
Oh yeah, we'll wait for her.
But
He's putting his kids to bed.
Okay, so
we're good.
So Eric's heading back. Okay. So is the party surprisingly is headed now to do this Barmon assignment on the way through Satessa is the plan?
What do I need to roll for the Medusa? Let's go ahead and get this Gorgon.
Oh, this Gorgon thing. Okay, so you're going to try to bronze this Gorgon.
But preserve the eyes so that I can still use
using your tools and your hammer. What were you going to say, Proxino?
Kind of like Taraxes, you hear this voice behind. May I help in some way? I help make stuff before. I mean,
in character, he'd love the help. Out of character, I've already got advantage, and I don't know how mechanically it would.
Could help lower DC.
Yeah. So if he has advantage, it would just help lower the DC of it.
Sweet. Yeah. Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to take this decaying head of a Gorgon and then make it bronze so that only the eyes inside are still have a possibility of working. Okay, give me. I think did I have you do sleight of hand when you made your other?
I think so. Yeah.
So we'll do sleight of hand, and then if there's any tool proficiencies, I know it also. So that's what's probably making it an advantage, right? So yeah, I'll do sleight of hand, and the only other thing I could think of was performance, or I could do arcane. I'll do sleight of hand since you're just kind of dipping. You're trying to do something that's very practical to this thing.
Smith's tools. So that's a +3.
Okay.
But I'm trying to see if that's already. Okay, got it. Glad I have advantage. Dirty 20.
Okay. So the you prepare the mold and the liquid bronze, and you end up dipping this head. Is there anything you would add to the way you plan to do this? Just so that I don't change into something that's not Taroxy's. How would Taroxy's plan to do this?
Just a montage of him getting a bowl, like a big stone bowl, piling the metal ingots into it, holding it over, or like holding it over the lava, basically letting the bronze melt in the stone bowl, and then brings the bowl to the great anvil of the forge, and with Proxinos's help, they together hold different snakes and kind of like dip it into the molten bronze and very carefully coat the head while avoiding the eyes.
Okay. When it is all said and done, you have this bronzed head, and while they try to avoid the eyes, some naturally seeps in, and one of them burns completely away. There is one that's kind of rolled there in the socket when it's all said and done that is still there, kind of like cocked-eyed, like looking off to the side. And they don't know if it will work. I mean, they don't even look at it. They try to, of course, doing all this, not really looking at it. They can tell that one of the eyes has completely been burned. They can kind of hear it and feel it, but they still have the head. They know that, they've at least stopped it from decomposing, and hopefully the magical power of that Gorgon is still trapped in, and they don't know until they use it. And they cool it, and they go on. As the party prepares to make their leave to journey out back into the world, Proxinos, do you sleep in a room in the forge the night before you leave? Do you room with anyone, or do you kind of sleep in one of the many rooms alone?
Or do you go home?
Where do you go home and sleep in the House Christos? That's a good question. Yeah, good.
I have a feeling I won't be sleeping back at home anytime soon once I leave. So get a rest under the House of Christos.
At the House of Christos. And so the night before you all are set off to leave, where you will meet your party back at the forge and prepare to head out, you awake almost in a dreamy-like state. And there in the room, standing before you, is a figure that's very familiar. Tall, slender, draped in very dark garbs, but embroidered in this fine gold. And under this person's hood, a distinct mask of a returned stands at the foot of your bed. And you know it to be the Scorpion. The figure that you fought in the grounds that had the followers disguised as followers of Perforos. Now, upon being kind of shocked by this, are there any actions that Proxinos would take?
Hello there, Scorpion, I believe your name is. This shock of someone there, but trying to actually maybe have this more calm, community, like trying to commune with this person. And Proxos knows that this is not a returned. I believe that is something that he found out about or learned about.
Interesting. And with that, he can see the eyes beyond the mask, right? Where returned would not have them. He can see the green eyes looking back at him. The figure steps back, drops down in a bow, My liege, I apologize for my attack on your group. I have been chastised by the great Erebos. And you and your party are free to move about THEROS as you will. Your father does send message asking that you watch yourself and that you do not interfere with his plans any further. It stands back up. I know that much of this you do not understand, but I cannot change the will of your father.
And looking at his emerald eyes, the green, and saying back to him, you are right that there are things that I do not understand, but I understand the will of the gods and the roles that they play. And I have a feeling, a gut, something instinctual of things to play out.
Kind of nods as approving the scorpion. Just know that it is unfortunate, but people will have to suffer as long as Phoenix is still worshipped. Your father wills it. When all is said and done, the suffering shall stop. But suffering is finite. It is not forever, and it is just an easing, a passing for those souls your father needs on the other side.
Pain and that suffering is also a part of life and living.
You understand well. You are definitely his son. And then he turns to steps towards the window. I do respect you and your group, and I will send any message that you wish on the behalf to your father. Is there any request that you have before I make my leave?
And Proxenos nods to him and he says, no, not yet. I need more time for understanding and seeing this vision, this dream fully.
Lastly, your father says, do not fear the sting. And then he bursts into a cloud. There's a bunch of humming and buzzing as the room is filled with those wasp-like black creatures as they begin to pour out of the window. And as they all leave, and you're sitting there kind of in this cold sweat, one of them is sitting on your arm and bites down and stings before flying away, leaving a very large whelp mark on the arm.
And is it painful?
It is excruciating. Can I have a Constitution save?
All right. Natural 20.
So as you start to convulse, coughing and veins writhing through your body, you suddenly stop, catch yourself, watch everything kind of go back to normal, and then you just drop back to sleep. And you end up missing the call time, like when everybody's like waiting for you, and eventually they end up having to go, get you, and or you show up like late. You're all prepared to travel, but you can tell that Proxinos looks really, really out of it. More so like he didn't get his full sleep.
Is that abnormal for us? Like, is that not his normal, like...
Yeah, I know that's really not that abnormal, but he had enough time to get a full rest. So for him, it was like, was he up? Like, why is he like he didn't get that rest? Maybe that's the only cue that lets you know something has happened. As the party, is there anything you're sharing there as they begin to travel?
Before we leave town, I gotta go see if that lady's done with my badge stuff yet.
She is, and and when you report back, she gives you your fine hate Elliot like badges that just need to have while you're on the road each night. You can kind of stitch a little bit more of those, crossing them out of there.
I also wanted to ask her if I could buy some like blank patches and assorted threads and needles so that Proxinos and I can practice and make some patches on our own while we're away from Akros.
About how many do you want?
Oh,
it's enough to give out a bunch of them on the road, like a couple hundred, or?
Yeah, I think I should buy in bulk. I can carry it now.
She charges you like 5 gold coins for the whole lot.
I give her 6.
Okay.
And I give her a big hug and I say, thank you so much. I'm sorry if it offended you. I really appreciate it. And you're just the best.
I'm not offended. I understand everyone's relations with the ships with the gods are quite different.
Thank you.
And you're a good customer. Don't worry about it, Fitz. Safe journeys, safe travels. And we pick up with you all now on the road outside of Akros, since you kind of teleport, so you kind of skip that whole 3-day journey since you're able to like kind of all leave from the city and head off on the road. Now, here's what I do want to know. There are multiple ways to get to where you're going. Well, actually, there were multiple ways, because originally Skull of Vale was on the list, and I saw that you could cut across through Apodexis territory of Oreskos. But it sounds like we are now maybe going down either around the mountain range, if you look on a Legend Keeper, which I will not risk bringing up as it might slow my system down, but anyone else can, or to either travel around the mountain range or to go through the mountain range towards the Setessan Wood is what I'm thinking we're
trying to retrace the Painter's Path, so yeah.
The Painter's Path, okay. Who's your survivalist? Who's your lead in this party? I know you all work together. Proxinos, yes, the druid, of course, druid.
Who should it be? Yeah. Probably Asteros. Probably.
And just so it's out there, gonna use a 2nd level slot to get the spectral horse again.
Yes,
just in case we need it.
Your spectral horse is back in there. This aquatic blue spectral horse begins to move with you. I don't know what you put on it or who's on it. Or Proxinos, or you want it?
Proxinos has one horse still alive.
Yeah, Proxinos actually has his own horse. Proxinos, I was going to actually, do you bring Maximus and the cart with you on this? Or do you just, I don't know.
I mean, we're going through the Nissian Woods and then going straight to the Skull of Vale. I don't know if that's a good place for.
It's not safe.
It's definitely not safe.
And you don't need the cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother
does offer you to upgrade your cart to a chariot if you need be, a fine chariot, but
I think that he will definitely take Maximus with him.
Okay. So Maximus goes. Just the horse? No cart? Or a cart? Just wondering.
No cart needed.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'll take better care of you.
Right.
Um,
If you need to take a nap, then I'll be riding my horse. So my horse is named Alysso, and if you need to take a nap, then you can just kind of stretch on Maximus's back, and then I can hold the reins, and we're all good to go.
Alysso, that is a beautiful name.
As you ride, as Alysso has been brought and Maximus is there, you all travel for 4 days across a part of the region that you are quite comfortable and used to. Not going as far south as Mellis is, of course, starting to cut over through the Lagana territory that is probably more familiar with Zin. Eventually, on that 4th day, you come across a 10-mile stretch of farmland. And at some point there, as you're traveling, there is a statue. It's ancient, and it features most of its features have been worn away from the exposure of the elements. A small stone tray is set at its feet, and it's filled with bottles of mead, wreaths, and wild flowers, and the baskets of dates, and all the offerings are stacked up, this kind of glistening bundle. And then on top of all of those offerings is a bundle of arrows, and they're all wrapped in a golden cord, probably a bundle of 20 arrows, really finely crafted for those who with the archery skill. That's something you come across. What do you do?
This looks like an offering. Could I infer that this is a problem?
And all around you there's low stone walls on the path that are probably a foot or two up, and then wheat fields that stand up about 3 feet off the grass, and then the statue with the worn away features and the bundling grass and a few trees all around you. Very beautiful environment. I didn't mean to cut you off. Continue.
No worries. Could I infer that this statue might belong to Nylea?
Could. Can I have because the features are so worn away, some of the features you have seen of Nylea is having a bow and arrow. The statue doesn't seem to have a bow and arrow, while its hands are stretched out. While maybe they're broken, maybe there was once a bow and arrow, or maybe they were once just kind of like had their hands out as though they were offering something. It's hard to really tell how worn the statue is. But yes, maybe a deity of some type. Do you want to give me an investigation check, Proximus?
Yes, I shall. 15? No, that's a 16.
16. Okay. You have a feeling after looking over a little bit that over the farming region you're in, over the wheat fields, you start to notice that while the figure could have been a bow and arrow reaching out, it's actually more, you realize that one of the statues seems to be a bundle under one of the arms. That could have been a bundle of resources or wheat or herbs of the earth. And like I said, most of those details are worn away, but you get more of the feeling that this could have been an idol to Karametra, the goddess or the goddess of fertility and of the land and of those offerings.
Fitz is going to pull a little bit of the thread that she just bought out of her bag and wrap it around her finger and tie a little bow and put it in the offering plate and just give the statue 2 pats.
Nice. Can I have a little insight check from Fitz? Or perception? Actually, perception.
Okay. Oh no. 3.
Okay. So all she knows is that the arrows are quite beautiful and quite well crafted.
Those are such pretty arrows.
could even pop, maybe even be magical the way they shine.
Oh, they go almost be magic the way those shine.
Well,
Indeed.
let's. I
Let's
haven't
go.
forgotten our experience, on the ocean with those sailors who cursed Thassa and got stuck. I don't want to be caught in a wheat storm or something. And I'm going to take out the flask of holy water that I made out on the sea and leave it at the top of the pile.
I don't have a lot to offer, but from his hands, it's got a magic glow as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 berries get put into the bowl.
Okay.
That seems like fair enough trade, right?
Fair. I'm just leaving space in case anyone else was doing the same. The berries have been offered, the little bow, and Pythias's holy water are left there on the pile as you all.
As we take the arrows.
Oh, are we?
I did not say that.
I didn't
Are
hear
you
that.
saying
I
you're
did not-
taking the arrows?
They're not me. I don't do things. This is for Apodexis.
That would.
I think that'd make her really angry, don't you?
Yeah, probably.
Dealing
What's
with,
Again,
that mean to
remember-
us?
well,
Remember the sailors who got lost?
I don't
remember.
want more.
I remember yelling at a storm and it going away. That's what I remember.
I just, food's great. I don't want to be in a situation where we can't get stuff to make food.
Proximus makes us food.
Yeah, but if he can't get the stuff to make the stuff he makes, we don't get no food.
I mean, if I don't have extra ingredients, it's gonna taste very bland. Tell me, do you want your food bland?
Say no.
Y'all some punks, man. I don't know when y'all got all cowardly and shit. Someone throws but he doesn't throw it, but he puts the arrows back down.
Right. And
Now, man,
arrow.
I'm fine with dealing with.
Just because none of you guys use a bow, now you guys are out here like, oh, we don't need that.
I mean, technically,
Selfish.
I could totally
Selfish.
use one, but I just don't, Helliot's enough to kind of deal with. It's a lot.
We're carrying around a lot of money. I mean, if you want to go buy some arrows, then I think we can afford it.
You
I'm
could
sure.
totally get cool stuff.
I'm sure that Taroxys with that new that hammer could make better arrows.
We don't waste our time on arrows; those are too small.
But you want to anger the gods over some arrows? Right?
You would not sully your hands with such trinkets, Telmun. Let the cowards shoot their arrows. It is fine. We can leave them.
It was for Apodexis.
He has many.
That's
Mal,
I already put them down.
while they're talking to Telmoon, I want to swap my arrows for them.
So you're gonna take the arrows and swap them with 20 of your arrows.
Yeah.
Okay.
High dex guy, huh?
Yeah. Very.
Are you doing this in a way that you don't want the other party to see, or are you doing this
Yep.
right in front of everyone? Perception check from everyone. Slide a hand for Zen.
I'm
Everyone else
arguing
gets-
with people, so I don't know if they're distracted or what.
All right,
but,
yeah. But you're not doing it on purpose to help him. So
No, I'm not doing it on purpose to
Yeah,
help them.
so
I'm
it's just
just
gonna be a
arguing
straight-
because they
yep.
seem like cowards.
22.
24.
14.
6.
6.
How the hell, Roxy's?
My perception.
You don't have-
so anyone
You
who
don't have
rolled
no
above
wisdom.
sees Zen try to do the quick move. I don't know what you do. I don't know if you allow it. Do you call him out? What happens?
I rolled a 24.
24, but did Taurasi get a 26? I think somebody better.
No, I got a 6. Just
I thought I heard a 26.
I thought I heard 26. I thought I heard 26 from Taroxy's.
I heard a 26 from Taroxy's. I was like, how did he get that? I was like,
impossible.
He's like
mathematically impossible. No, it's just a 6.
All right.
22. Yeah.
Apodexis, do you want to roll a perception just in case you notice the sneaky shit?
Did you roll one, Apodexis? You get to roll one as well.
I can't beat a 24.
So
I can't beat a 24. So.
And it's what are we rolling?
You have a +4 to perception.
Perception. 12.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So then you're able to quickly do that and make that swap there. You have a feeling the reason you made the swap is you know those arrows are better than your lot.
Yeah.
Can I have a religion check?
16.
Okay. And as you begin to leave the fields, Zen, as you move along the wheat fields, you see some of the wheat, kind of like the piece of the pollens of it, kind of like the wind begins to blow. And as you briskly all begin to move, it takes for that next 10 miles. Zen feels a little uncomfortable about what he's done. And right as you leave like that prairie or that road that led through that whole stretch that's behind me, you start to see the Alcedes, or the spiritual essence of these creatures that protected that part of the land. And basically the wheat particles start to swirl and reveal themselves to be over 10 of them standing there looking at all of you leave with large like spirit weapon like sides floating above their bodies, and they just stare, but they don't do anything, and they all return back to the wheat fields.
Well, that's weird.
I thought we were doing something nice, but maybe we didn't leave enough.
Maybe you guys left bad presents. Maybe you're supposed to leave food.
I mean, you can drink holy water.
I left berries.
Maybe they didn't like the little ribbon.
Do you all ever hunt, or do you mostly just eat the rations that you...
Proxenos provides food. I don't know how he does it.
He just provides berries. You guys ever get tired of those goddamn berries? Like, you guys are just...
What is
magically
eating?
No, we don't.
Yeah, they just magically, it's like they're great.
I'm assuming Zen runs down like deer and rabbits for fun just to bring some back.
I imagine I have dry rations and sometimes some like spices for something extra for when mealtime comes around, but yeah.
If there are streams, I would try to go fishing, but if it's land food, I would be hopeless trying to get it.
So 3 days later, you all come across the beginning of the forest, or the openings of the start to leave the open plains and head into the Setessan surrounding territory. It is quite inviting and beautiful, but also has a foreboding dread to it because of just the nature of how large the trees feel, how they make you feel a little bit more insignificant as mortals. And as you walk through one section of the forest, you find this open area, and in the far distance, there is a pavilion. And you start to pick up the sound of music, like flutes and lyres being plucked and played, beautiful songs. And that strange music comes from that nearby area. And what you see in that pavilion adorned by flowers and beautiful tables. There's a grand party. There has to be 40 people out there just really enjoying themselves in the middle of the forest. All of them mostly humans from what you can see. You start to spot a few satyrs in the mix as well, but they seem to be drinking. They seem to be merry, dancing about, having a great time. They're just off in the distance. Or do you guys continue down the path that you're on? They are not on the path that, they're there.
That sure looks like a lot of fun, you guys.
Oh, hungry. We should keep moving, though. We.
Oh, maybe they know the way to the temple.
Are there any like road signs that says like this area 2 miles that way?
The last pile you came from said like 2 miles to the Setessan Wood, and now you're at the Setessan Wood. So you're like, yeah, we know. And then there a couple there's like a stone road marking saying like the road that where you're at continues on to Setessa itself. Now you also have a map that should lead you off the path, because you guys aren't necessarily going into Setessa as you're trying to go to this temple of Farika nearby. So do you continue?
Do we have a map to the temple?
Yeah.
Baraman drew us a map, right?
Baraman, yeah.
Can I also have a stealth check? Not that you're hiding, but to see if anyone at the party spots you.
I'm good at stealth.
7.
As a 4.
9.
16.
Man, I hate wasting nat 20s on a disadvantage, but a 13.
So Taraxi's just like stands behind a bush exactly his height, like just like. Who was our lowest roll?
Me with the 4. I just allowed yawn.
Who was our lowest roll beyond that?
I got 5.
Okay, so 4 and a 5. Taraxi's can cancel one of those out, but I was hoping the next one wasn't as low. Well, no, automatically your nat 20.
It's a 13. I rolled.
He had disadvantage.
Oh, got it. Okay,
because of my plate.
So, while they don't come over to you, one of the satyrs that's playing on the flute kind of stops, looks out, and seems to spot Asteros and Proxinos, and then waves. Goes and then but very quickly goes back to playing. Almost just kind of waves and goes back to doing his own thing. Not like, hey, you got to come over, but that's it.
Do you guys know him?
Oh, seems like that was just some friend.
He seems very giddy.
Yes, waving.
People here do seem a lot nicer than in Akros. I mean, just saying.
True.
Akros is very much the opposite of what satyrs are.
I'm sold.
So we
be
continue?
right back.
Yes. So the party continues, or they?
How comfortable are we in our map? Because that's really the question for Telmo. If we know where we're going, we don't need to talk to nobody.
Then give me whoever's leading.
Question, actually.
Give me a survival check to see, just make sure you feel like you're where you're at. And
please don't ask me of that. That'll be. I don't want to do that.
Now I imagine at Telmoon, you know. Since you're from the Skull of Hell, have you ever been to Setessa, or do you know the area through Setessa? Would you argue that you know that? Like
I wouldn't have come through Setessa.
Got it.
Before finding Taraxis. So unless Taraxis,
because you would have went to go find Taraxis around the backside of the giant of Dalus, so you would have never. Yeah, that makes sense. Just confirming. Then Proxinos, give me a survival check here.
As he does this,
and I'll give you advantage because you're using the map, right? So you do have something that Baraman is giving you to gauge this between Baraman and the information that you got in Neo Lantern. You've got some information to go off of.
There's a lot of the pieces.
Yeah.
All right. 17.
Okay. So you're not feeling like you need to pull over in the gas station to ask somebody for directions. You feel like your GPS is pretty sound right now.
I remember those days.
Yeah, right. Like the printing out the map questions.
You missed
That's
the turn.
great.
I would read those out and the passenger seat, like, okay, turn here, turn here.
Right.
Oh no, oh, wrong
Who
turn.
has the highest passive perception as you guys continue to, on down?
At 17.
17. Okay.
Is that the highest?
Access?
No.
Okay. 17 will do it. So as the party continues on, as you kind of ignore the party goers, as THEROS being a little bit more kind of in tune with, like, I don't know, maybe more of the strands of fate, or the strands of Nyx kind of running through everything, your connection to the stars. You look at the people partying and you look at their faces, and you can tell by their body movements and even some of the faces as you see, they are exhausted, that they are tired of partying. But you
Hold. And I kind of draw attention.
Uh-huh.
I said, there is something off. What I perceived as giddy. Do they look tired to any of you?
They
I can't really tell.
If your passive perception is 15 or higher, then you can kind of start to see what THEROS is talking about. Otherwise, you're like, they just like they're having a good time.
They look like they're having so much fun.
From the natural eye, the normal eye, they do, but they do seem. I relay what Malcolm said. They seem
start to see the dark
tired.
bags under their eyes. People looking like themselves. Some people look like they're trying to sleep, but they continue to get up and pour another drink.
Now that I noticed that, and I noticed the wave earlier, was that wave more of a "Hey, help" type wave, or was it a? Could it have been?
Give me a perception check.
Sure. 21.
Damn it! All right.
High perception.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a call for help.
Okay.
Because as you look closer, the satyrs in the party, about 5 of them, seem to be just fine. And it makes sense. Satyrs do not tire easily.
Okay.
They're playing the music, they're running the show. The humans seem to be exhausted. And then you notice a young woman who's been dancing her just dancing her life away, just collapses down in the distance. And one of the satyrs kind of like nudges her, like kind of like get up, and then they all just keep playing. Now it doesn't seem nefarious. Nothing seems sinister about
right.
But like something also seems off. It could easily be none of your business, and you can continue on. I'm just saying your passive perception allows you to see.
Do they have any wounds?
No wounds. No one's bleeding.
Okay.
No one. It just
From dancing that long? No one's bleeding. Okay.
No one's bleeding. They're just.
This is fantasy dancing, bro.
It's fantasy dancing. Yeah. Like it's more like being at a rave when people are on too much. They're either dehydrated.
Even in the Feywild,
I can't help but think of Hocus Pocus, Dance Till You Die.
Yeah.
Like,
this is
So they're doing Feywild capoeira.
Yeah.
Right.
How far away are they from us?
About
I was gonna ask that.
200 feet.
I relay all this, like the humans, and I'm sure we all saw the one fall, and I said, "This is curious, but I'm not the leader of this party."
My tribe doesn't party with humans unless they ask for it, so I'm assuming this tribe probably follows similar rules.
I mean, we have 2 satyrs in the group now. Why not just you 2 go talk to them?
I don't want to party.
I'll bet Fitz wants to party though.
Yeah, but then Fitz will be here for
really
days minimum. You don't understand how this works.
We give you
Troxy's right.
We can keep going if you guys think we should keep going. If they're partying this hard, I mean, they'll probably be partying when we come back.
You could give them flags.
The
Don't
peop-
tempt me with branding.
I
They'll
mean, we
sleep when
haven't
they want to.
brand out here at all.
We don't know what things the gods have placed before us. Maybe this is meant to be. Maybe it's nothing. But it is curious. But I will leave it at that.
It's what you rolling out there.
Yeah, well, I was
If it
And
was
you're
a 10 or
probably- and if-
higher,
and
I
if
was going to
Proxinos-
investigate, and it
If
wasn't.
Proxinos
So I'm
is
going to leave.
correct, then you're
Yeah.
probably no more than a couple hours from the temple of where you need to go. So, but it's
You guys,
I-
if we're so close to the temple, why don't we just go check it out? We could always come party when we're done. Maybe we need to celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
I am actually starting to get concerned for those. The woman who passed out. I don't. This could actually be very dangerous.
It sounds like Proxinos wants to go. Who all wants to go? Say aye.
I'll go where the group goes.
We'll give it a
can't
few
really
minutes,
tell.
and if it's nothing, we'll leave. How's that?
Seder parties aren't like that.
I mean, we kind of know how to party, if you know what I mean. And I just don't know if you guys could keep up. You might get stuck.
That's why I said you two should go. You're used to it, right?
I mean, it's been a while, but yeah, sure. I just run over to him.
so you start running up
If
to.
Fitz goes, I'll trail her.
I just
I'm not
picture
even
her-
running. I'm
her
like
faunish
frolicking. I'm like skipping through the grass over to the satyr who waved.
I'm faster than she is, so I'll make sure I get there at the same time.
And so as you arrive, as Fitz gets closer, the one satyr who is kind of that one that waved, as you get closer, he's wearing fine like golden chains that run from his neck, and he has like a couple of bracelets. He is also the one that is playing the lute and like checking in on people and like haha, and like there are plates of fine like dates and grapes, and it looks like a wonderful time, especially if it's just like this is awesome. All the humans are having a great time. They're all like kind of clapping as people dance. Telmoon, can I have a perception check? As you're approaching, and as she approaches, Fitz approaches, you see that the main, actually, yeah, Telmoon, give me a history check.
You want a religion while you're at it?
Just
Maybe a nice nature check.
I think we need an animal handling check.
Wow. 16 minus 1 for 15.
Ooh.
Okay.
And so you've heard of this very popular satyr. It is Bacchus, and it appears to be Bacchus and his group. And Bacchus is the King Bacchus, as he is called, and is known as the king of the revel, like a king of party in all of Mary. And as you start to look around, as Fitz is introduced to him, Bacchus kind of like bows to her and kind of starts to like dance. Doesn't even start talking. He just starts to like almost kind of like bring her into the fold. And like he like wants her, they're dancing, and you start looking around Telmoon, and as the rest of the party's approaching, you can tell that by the paraphernalia and stuff around the room, like there's like a sign that says honoring King Bacchus. You get the feeling that these people in this pavilion were having this party in Bacchus's honor, and Bacchus is here. Bacchus showed up. Bacchus is manifested. There's a few moments before the rest of the party shows up with you and Fitz here. I don't know what else you do. And then Fitz, how are you responding as Bacchus hasn't even spoken, but is kind of like just kind of like grabs your hand and tries to bring you into dance into this group of swirling people.
I will happily join the dance and swirl with
Oh.
Bacchus and be like, oh my gosh, hi, my name is Fitz. Who are you? This looks like so much fun.
Can I grapple her?
Really?
And then Telmo goes to grab him. How rude of you, sir, to take my companion in this dance. You can dance after. Is there a problem here? You don't seem to be having fun.
We do not have time to revel at this moment.
Oh, you're such a stick in the mud.
my
What are you doing?
God. Is there ever a time? We do not have time. You sound like the mortals. We do not have time. There is always time. Come. Is that your group? And he looks over and he's like, I did. Come.
Those are our friends.
His
You
nails
can
are like
revel-
finely
you can revel
manicured
with my
into very
family.
fine points, and they're like they're like very shiny. Like you notice his hair both on his head and like there's more hair on his back, but it's like finally well put together.
Matey.
And he has like a little, like a ring in his nose. And he goes and he grabs his party mask, and he has like this kind of like party operating masquerade mask that he puts on where his horns are up.
DM, do it. When I approached, what do I immediately notice about the humans?
Even further, that they are exhausted. They have clearly been partying for a while, and they have not been able to stop. The rings under their eyes show that, and their faces share both ecstasy and exhaustion at the same time. It's because of the way you're looking, like a man whose like shirt is halfway ripped off kind of comes out of a group of people, almost like they might have been having like in like the middle of the pavilion, like an orgy. He kind of steps out and he walks up and he grabs Asteros. Help us. Help us. Help yourself to another drink. He like starts to lead you towards the table.
Proximos cast Detect Magic.
Yeah.
Cool. As you do it, there is so much like
you get blinded.
Charm magic. It is the dust.
You just blacklighted the orgy. Good job.
Ooh.
Wisdom saves from everyone. Disadvantage wisdom saves from Fitz.
Wisdom save, you said? Okay.
Yeah, wisdom.
Come on, man. I know this trick.
Oh yeah, you advantage for you as well. I'm sorry, advantage for you, disadvantage for Fitz, and then regular checks for everyone else is what I
22.
Natural 20, 27. Natural 20, 27.
Ooh.
9.
I technically have advantage against spells and other magical
you do as
effects,
Love
but
that.
I will take
Crit.
the disadvantage.
You take the disadvantage because you roll straight because remember you're not as familiar about your background as Satyr, so this Satyr clearly has a high level of magic, so it's kind of
and you agreed to party with him. That's the scary part about it.
He looks so friendly.
I told y'all not to. I should have left this one at home.
Rolled a 2.
I got a 17.
So I don't know what as Taroxy's joints start. I don't know if he starts just kind of like ready to like start dancing and enjoying himself.
Oh no.
Yeah, I rolled a 2 also.
I mean, we can sacrifice our animal rot. They're not going to get tired.
So with the nat 20, Asteros clearly knows what's going on. He realizes that the effect of Bacchus's presence has clearly charmed these people. He looks to Telmoon. Telmoon eyes say everything. You guys
does an
both
18
know what's
pass?
going on. Yeah, you're good as 18 for Telmoon with advantage.
I rolled a 9. I have a -1 on wisdom saves.
So Telmoon is looking at you.
I rolled a
Asteros,
19
actually, and kind of starting to like tap his hoof on the ground, but his eyes are looking like
I know this game.
Like fuck. Like it's like he starts to kind of tear up. Like I can't hold on for much longer. Anyone else higher than like that? Anyone else like
22.
21? So yeah, you're good, Zen. Proximos, you're good, and you realize that everyone is kind of under the spell of the revel itself, and being mortals consumed by this much power, it's not necessarily anything that Bacchus is doing on purpose. It's almost just like not knowing your own strength. And the mortals are caught in it, and a few people are starting to kind of drop, and now the rest of your if you're under that first level, you are in it, you're enjoying the party. So I'd like to hear from everyone who failed, like what they're doing at the party right now.
That includes Selman.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be just dancing. It could be drinking. It could be anything you could think of that could be at a party. If there are games at this party, you could might find yourself, including Telmoon. Telmoon is and Telmoon is like, but Telmoon's the only person who's doing it. Like, you're seeing yourself from outside yourself. Like, I'm trying to fight it. Like, what's happening.
Yeah.
To you.
Yeah. I mean, Telmoon was a championship dancer. Like, his family is known as the dancers. His mom retaught him how to dance immediately. So he's probably, as soon as this happens, he grabs Fitz's hand and he gets out there.
Oh, cut up the dance floor.
Y'all can see it in Telmoon's eyes. He's like, somebody stabbed me or something. This ain't working.
Telmoon goes into such a fury, such a dance. It's so powerful. It's captivating to anyone to just see, like, this is the guy you've seen him dance around a battlefield. If you passed, you have advantage, but you will give me another a wisdom save, because Telmoon is now wooing the crowd in to like watch him go.
Yeah.
Troxy's is rooting him. Troxy's his hype man right now.
26.
What's Fitz doing?
Oh, I'm so happy to be dancing and having a good time. I'm just cutting a rug out there, doing the robot. I got an 11.
I already failed.
Go Telman.
So,
Go Telman.
Yeah, Abba would see Fitz doing the robot and then try and do the same, except it actually looks like he's actually doing the robot. So,
did I hear a 26 from Praxinos?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else around that? Or
I got 21 again.
21.
Oh,
okay.
sorry, I didn't roll again. Sorry,
Yep.
hold on.
You do get advantage.
Please, wisdom-based characters, please. Stay.
22.
Everyone who failed the first time is still under the thrall. Like, they're not breaking.
yeah.
Like, there's no reason to test for it.
Only our wisdom-based characters can pass.
15 plus 7, 22.
All right.
Yeah. Holding out.
So Praxinos and Asteros are holding on right here. Zen, what'd you get? 21?
Yeah.
Okay. You just beat it as well, as you're like, oh shit, like you guys are the three looking at each other at the party, like looking at the Kool-Aid that everybody's passing around, like should we drink this? Like, even though the music sounds good, and this does seem like a great moment to just, it seems like everything has just been like keep going and going. It seems like a great moment to just let loose. Well, you do realize there's magic at play here, and so what do you do about it? How do you try to get your party members out of this?
Dispel magic.
Ooh.
I don't have
Focusing the revel. And I sense it because I have detect magic.
Okay.
All right. As you describe to me what it looks like as you try to dispel the magic.
I do have to roll for it because it is I don't know what the DC is or what you have set, so I'll just roll.
Got it. Okay, that's fair enough. I'm just reading it right here. I have what I need.
It's definitely higher than the level 4 spell that you got.
Yeah.
It's a high check for you to dispel it off this one dispel. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's a 14.
It's a 14. So as you try to dispel the power of this party, everybody keeps dancing, but almost like the record scratches, like the music stops. But everyone else who's under the spell keeps having a good time. And all 5 satyrs, including Bacchus, stop and look at Praxinos. And then Praxinos goes, "What the fuck, bro? Really? Just come up in here and kill my magic in my own party?"
There's people that are crying for help. They are slowly wasting away.
Crying for help. What do you mean crying for help? Like, they love this. This is what they asked for. Do you not see the signs? They asked for me to show up. And I did. I'm here. Bacchus. Me in all my glory.
Just you showing up is causing them to dance until they literally drop dead.
We're exaggerating. This whole conversation is happening with, and you, any of you could jump in. So Asteros is there, Zan's there, everybody else.
Great Bacchus. Listen to this young one. Do you not see it on the humans? Look at their eyes. They are grateful you're here, but one is so great as you is not aware of your influence on how great it is.
It's not my fault. They can't handle the ecstasy that they asked for. Is that my fault? Do you want me to stop my party on the few weak ones' behalf? You seem strong.
Trust me.
They should just be more like you, yes?
Well,
sounds like you're trying to persuade him.
Yeah, I am.
Check between Asteros and Proximus.
Flat, stroking his ego. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Sure, it's Christmas though.
Okay.
It's not like he's an eloquence bard or anything like that.
A charisma check for me as well.
Yep. What'd you get? Asteros? Persuasion check.
Oh yeah, I got 14. Yeah.
Both got 14.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an 11.
Oh, never mind. I got 14.
What are you doing, Zen? You running?
Can I do an insight check on him to see if he's getting agitated and feels like he's about to do something towards us three?
He looks kind of ho-hum as he's kind of calmed down a bit and has his buddies kind of going back to the party, but he is very set on. He's really watching Proxinos right now. He kind of like, if you guys were at a bar, he's kind of squaring up with Proxinos, like, you came into my place and you're messing shit up. Like, come on, man. Like he's almost like threatening but non-threatening for him to leave. But Asteros, you had something with what you were saying. Continue based on your roles.
This is true. Not many can live up to your great expectations. I mean, this is what you are best at, but still, show mercy and let them be able to rest it off. Just because they cannot handle it doesn't mean they haven't earned it. They've gone their body's extent, and let them rest.
I hate breaks in parties. Parties should be a revel. It should be a revel from the beginning to the end, and I'm not ready to end. You see, I'm not ready to end. But I don't know why. I kind of like you all, just a little bit. And then, almost like a quick of his hands, he throws his hands back, and he goes, and just dust flies off his fingertips, and you all see it coming, like he's just spewing pixie dust as it just kind of flies out. And that's all you remember as you all kind of just fucking black out. And as everything goes black, you come to all the next, like a whole, it seems like a whole nother morning. You can tell by the way the birds are chirping that a day, the night clearly went and passed. Everyone is fully hungover. But Asteros, you have a feeling that you were able to get to him. And as people start to wake up, you see all the nude bodies stacked on top of each other, right? Just like half-dressed people everywhere. You all are still dressed. I mean, but all like in part of the pavilion laid out. Asteros, you are holding a cup. Like this big cup, and it is like a goblet, and it's got these fine carved masks etched into every side of it, and they all have sad face, and there's no like wine left in the bowl. Some people begin to get up and walk around. you can see that people are like, oh my god, like we made it through that. As they're checking on some people, they're waking people up. Unfortunately, a few of those people that went out early in the game didn't get back up.
Jeez.
Telmoon and Fitz, you wake up holding each other, but you can't tell like whether you were dancing or you just kind of passed out. But you kind of probably quickly like adjust, like, oh shit, as you look around, and there's a bit of fogginess. You don't remember the night before.
Didn't happen. Can't remember it. Didn't happen.
Now, what I'd like to know is everyone to go around and share like the last thing you remember from the night. This is literally you making it up, like the thing. Like, so if you were playing darts, or if you were doing drinking games, or if you were doing relay races, or if you were just dancing, whatever it is, if you were participating in an orgy, like you have one memory to share from the night before. Proxinos. Or anyone. I'll let you know jump in, but I was going by who I saw first. But.
I've got an idea that with the musicians who were playing, I was trying to share with them some of my like Triton songs, which I was like singing in Aquin, but they don't sound right in the air. So I like gargled a glass of wine and tried to sing with the wine in my mouth.
Nice. Can I have a Constitution save from you, Pythias?
Absolutely. I rolled a natural 1, so
okay,
great.
All right. So you just have that memory right now. You don't know what that like means, but you have that memory, and you suddenly kind of like hurl like, oh my god, like I drank way too much. Anyone else?
So Appa would have, at one point, since it's a pavilion, I'm pretty sure they've had like furs or something, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be like get into the Greek. There, he's just at one point his claws are just like on the carpet or on the furs, wherever they are. God, this is amazing.
He's just like rolling in like all of like the bear fur, like yeah, just like loving it. Okay. Yeah, he's just doing that as of right now. And does he remember any other memory of the night? But he knows how he wakes up. But is there any one memory that was it?
Probably the last one.
The last one is him just kind of curling up and balling up into that ball. Okay. Anyone else?
I remember shaking violently on the back of Teroxes, and then I got flung off, and it all went dark.
Teroxes remembers being goaded into playing Toss the Satyr. And so there's a good montage of him using his giant's might, and for a minute, like different satyrs and humans and Proxenos in this case, where he went dark, was right before he flew through the air, landing wherever he landed. But yeah, Teroxes just, they loved the game and being thrown, so the satyr would get thrown like 60 feet through the air. They'd run right back and get in line to be tossed again.
Can I have an athletics check from you? Oh, so what I want you guys to do in all these, as you're telling these stories, I want you to keep your score. So you're doing an athletics check, Troxy. Tell me what you got. Last person that checked was who? Proxinos. What did you get?
I didn't.
Did anybody who rolled last? I'm tripping.
The only one that rolled was Colin, I think.
Colin, what you get?
Natural 1 for a 5.
Natural 1 for a 5. Okay, so you're keeping that 5. Troxy's, what'd you get?
19.
19. Okay, so your 19 is right now. Proxinos, did you already share what you remember? You say you remember being on Terox's back, correct?
Yeah, I was riding his back, and then I got flung off.
You got flung off. Can I have a dex save?
All right. Off 20.
Okay. And Anyone else? I want to hear something from everyone. I know I also heard from so
very-
Apodexis for you. Apodexis, you were kind of like rolling around in the beds. The Constitution check for you.
Okay. Let's see. And that's going to be 18.
Okay. Troy, Fitz, and Telmoon.
Okay.
Let's go, Zen. Let's see what
I'm trying to think.
Oh, yeah,
like,
Zen,
what the fuck would
yeah.
Zen do?
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
It's just that weird memory, that doggy memory that you have.
Zen would probably. I don't know. Well, yeah, go fast, right? So let's go with that. He would have went around filling everyone's cups, goblets, up with the wine, constantly making sure they're all full, including teleporting from place to place sometimes as well.
Acrobatics
That made it
check.
way worse. Got it.
Okay.
And Nick, I kind of cheated. I gave you a deck save. I shot it. Probably just made it a check. Would that have made the 19 a little bit lower?
It would have not changed anything.
Would not have changed anything. Fair enough.
23.
Might be.
23. Okay.
So Asteros remembers because he was talking to Bacchus. It's very hazy, but totally out of character. He tried to goad him into doing a drinking game, and let's just say it didn't go very far for Asteros. So yeah.
Constitution check for you as well. I know it's not a save, just a check.
Or you not
natural one. So 3.
So you're just,
yeah, so it makes sense what I just said. One drink, one sip.
I love when the dice tell the story.
They tell, yes. This is one of those moments here. Fitz and Telmoon.
Oh, Fitz is also gonna talk to Bacchus, and she's like got an arm over his shoulder and is like, "Oh my gosh, you think this is a great revel? Let me just tell you about the revel from my hometown. Been going on for as long as I can even remember. I'm pretty sure they're breaking the world record. Have you heard of them? I've heard of them. I bet you heard of them." Like this fanatical, excited conversation.
I love it. And so she remembers having that conversation. And when she wakes up, the one thing she can remember is that Bacchus never seemed serious in that entire time, except for that moment when she said, "My rebel's been having that party, breaking the world record." His face goes from partying like he's and he just looks at Fitz. And that's the image burned in her mind, is Bacchus looking her like, "What are you talking about? Like, are you like?" It was almost like a "Are you serious?" moment. And that's what she remembers.
Almost got them hands. Very careful out there.
But almost like it almost seemed like what you were sharing kind of scared him. Like almost like he'd heard of this revel. And something about it being way too much.
We're out here breaking records. He best have heard of us.
Yeah, like I would assume that between Bacchus's magic and the pixie dust in the air, that Telmoon almost goes into a memory that he's lost. You know, he goes into a time where this was normal for him, and he feels like he has the presence of his mom and his dad out there, and it's the middle of the revelry, and it's just his time to shine. So he's just putting his all into the dance that his parents taught him, and trying to live up to the expectations that have always been placed on his shoulders to be the best. So he's going full Lord of the Dance right now. He might even go ancestral guidance and use that to help speed him up.
Acrobatics from Telmoon, and from Fitz I know she wasn't trying to do this, but intimidation check.
Telman only has 2 modes. There's ultra chaotic neutral and Disney Pixar protagonist.
Oh yeah.
What'd she get?
A 22.
Ooh. Does that tie with Zen? Zen, did you have a 22? Or you had more than 22? I thought the highest roll so far was Zen. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, it probably was. I actually got a 23, but
Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong.
I
So
thought
yeah,
Zen got a 23.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
you got a 23. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So
remember your number.
Yeah, remember your number.
I tied with Zen.
So you tied with Zen. And so I know I said Zen that I kind of misspoke. And I guess instead of trying to retcon it, I'm just gonna say I misspoke. Asteros, you don't wake up with the cup in your hand. Zen and Telmoon wake up. Now while Zen, you have the cup and you're sitting next to the tree that Telmoon and Fitz are. The cup is empty. It's got a little bit of liquor in it, and Asteros is close by. But there is a letter that is wet with wine inside of the cup.
Kind of plucks it out and takes the drips off. Is it sealed or is it just like a folded?
Just like
note?
folded up.
With like one eye open, kind of opens it up and reads it because he's still looking up.
It's in common, and it goes on to say, I kind of butcher some of the words, but it pretty much says that Asteros convinced Bacchus it would be time to cut the party a bit short. He said Bacchus gives you for your grand party skills, between you serving those drinks and Telmoon rocking the show, the Comus Cup is bestowed to both of you. It is and I think at that moment we thought you guys make a check. What you guys realize is that it is a honor to have this cup, and it explains it in the letter. But it is an alchemy jug, but it is Bacchus's, kind of like a trophy given to you for your performance. As to say, you partied harder than anybody else. You realize that most of the mortals there were level 5 exhaustion, and one party day away from dying. All of you have at least one level of exhaustion right now, and I think everyone's just at 1. You were able to kind of like make that first check. If you failed the first check, you have 2 levels. If you passed, you were like Asteros, Proxinos, you have 1. And then he kind of PS's at the bottom, and he goes, "Be wary of Fitz and the revel she is leading you to."
That part opens both eyes.
Bacchus said that.
Bacchus wrote that on the note. Now, right now, Zen and Telmoon are the only ones reading it. Whether they share,
right. We don't know.
I just
Telmoon got up, finished off whatever was in the. Looks at that. I was like, "Told you not to fuck with satyrs."
Duly noted. I'm sorry. I didn't know better. I got a headache.
What day is it?
I don't know. Is anyone else awake?
Did I extricate myself away from Fitz before she woke up?
I imagine there was the awkward moment as you both realized you guys were kind of embracing like the dance, like you guys are holding each other's hands in some weird way.
Somebody's leg.
She's so tired.
That's something you could practice when we get to the Vale.
Huh?
If Zen doesn't say anything, I would probably try not to show Fitz the letter right away.
Okay.
I don't want to discourage. I feel like I don't want to discourage her trip to the Vale. It seems pretty important. You want to know?
So, by the way, nearby in the middle of the pavilion, the areas people are waking up, there is a THEROS, a deep two-handled cup. It's with a pedestaled foot, and it's huge, and it's filled with cold ice water that everyone is starting to kind of like pour cups of. And there's a board of delicious fruits and stuffed vine leaves that have been left, kind of like as a morning sobering sobering aspect for everyone to enjoy. So as much as Bacchus party clearly knew what to left you all to get back on task.
Does that help mechanically or just help with the
do you take part?
Yes.
I head straight over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the other one who had the goblet with the sad masks on it?
You did, but now you were beside it, you were like touching it, but essentially
okay.
You were holding onto the bottom of it, and it was really being bestowed to Zen and Telmoon.
Gotcha. Okay,
and
gotcha.
And so what it is
that makes sense.
It is a alchemy jug. And
no, I handed that back to Zen.
So do you fill it up? Do you bring any? Do you guys fill it up with any new water for the day or any new substance for the day?
We sensed it was the alchemy jug.
You do. And he maybe explains it in his letter.
Okay.
Cool.
That's on Zen because I would have left it with you because I would have tried to be more focused on the letter.
Yeah, that letter didn't mean shit to me except for the be wary part. Yeah, Zen will go over and drink out of it. Fuck it.
So
everyone
I guess
feels everyone who's checking the water from the main tankard that's in the center, as everyone is, you feel refreshed, as it is a tankard of sobriety, and makes you feel whole. You no longer feel poisoned or out of it as you drink from it.
But still exhausted.
Spins.
Random point of order, Mal. After spending what sounded like a full week of intimate time with the hammer, am I any closer to attunement to it? Just
yes.
for the mechanical benefits?
You are attuned to it.
Okay. I ask because it grants immunity to exhaustion.
Oh, okay. Then you're
Nice.
fine. Fair enough.
Yeah, that thing is broken.
So Telmoon feels fine.
Oh, so I don't have 2 levels of exhaustion still.
No, just Taroxys doesn't have 2 because I imagine he's the one carrying the hammer.
Okay.
While it was gifted to you, he's the wielder.
So I feel fine, but I feel super exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. You're not dying, but being alive sure does suck right now.
I'll take anyone that's 2 your level 2. If you take from the tankard, it'll take 1 exhaustion level away.
I can get rid of 3 people's levels right now.
But do we
who
need to
all
do that?
failed? We got to go to the city right now, dude.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You're 2 hours away from the. You're 2 hours away from the.
Yeah.
If you want to just head over, you can head to the.
We got a whole
temple,
day of rolling.
Or do you? What do you guys want to
We
do?
were gonna go to the temple, weren't we?
I can go exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
It's who do we need to not have exhausted?
Yeah, who
Who
had
would
2
look the
levels, who
worst?
isn't healed from the water?
Everyone except for Josh, Eric, Troy, and Nick. So I guess Colin, Renee,
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
you all
Oh.
have 2
But-
levels.
But
I
if we,
thought I
you said
only
if we
failed
drink,
once. Okay.
So we went down to 1. Well, if you
So,
failed
yeah.
the first time, then you failed twice.
so if we drink from it though, do we
I
get
think-
1 level of exhaustion?
I,
Did you roll
it
the
takes
second
1
time?
level off. If you drink
Okay,
from
so
it,
then
you get 1 level off.
Yeah.
If
Okay,
you
so
were
then
if you were had 1 level, you keep the 1 level. It was only for the people that got the 2 levels. You
Yeah,
brought
I
it down
have
to 1.
2.
So everybody should be at
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nikki ever rolled the second time, but Nikki definitely got caught on that first round.
She got caught on that first
I
one.
got-
So,
I got a 16 the first round and an
Yes.
11 the second round.
so yes,
Yeah, you
Nikki
failed
is
twice.
exhausted
Yeah.
with 1 level if she drank from the water, the tanker. So everybody has at least one level of exhaustion,
So
except for
we're all at one
Taroxys, who is immune to it.
Yeah.
And then Zen could remove levels up to 3 people.
I don't need it. I'm not useful in
Yeah, I
any of
can
the
go with
talking
one.
stuff.
Yeah. I don't think we need my survival anymore. We got this. It's a straight shot.
So continuing on through the day, to kind of shake off some of the cobwebs, they end up arriving in a grove in the forest, and there ahead of them is an old ancient temple that is accessible not only from the front but the sides as well. But a front, back, and sides, a square structure with an apex house, ionic columns all along the side and the front, stairways leading up maybe 15 feet to the doorway. Vines and weeds have all consumed this place and brought it back to nature. All around you, scattered around this garden of trees, or is a garden of trees and other plants and bushes. There are fine carvings and details in the structure of snakes that let you know this is the Temple of Farika. Perception check from everyone.
Disadvantage.
Yay, that should be good. It's a 4.
3.
Mine's also a 4.
19. Boom.
12.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Jeez, guys. Help me.
23.
We're all rolling at
There
disadvantage.
you go.
So, you all notice beautiful garden and multicolored flowers growing off of everything. You know, based on maybe what you feel about Farika or what you've known about Farika, you know, often she gets, I think, you often hear people talk to her about poison. And so, mention of her temples being in these bogs and swamps. And here, this temple is in this very beautiful glade. With beautiful flowers and plants all around you. How will you proceed?
Okay, we got to the temple. Can someone hold my bag and takes this kind of like this satchel thing off?
Taroxys will throw it over the shoulder.
And then Proxenos transforms into a squirrel.
Okay. Whoosh. The winds kind of whip around him as his body begins to contort and shrink. And eventually, it is the familiar Proxenos, the little squirrel form.
And he wants to hop in the backpack.
Whose backpack?
His own, I guess.
His own bag.
His own
Scoop him.
backpack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop him in.
Got it. He hops in his backpack.
Job's done.
This is on probably Fitz.
Fitz is gonna walk up to like the main opening that's closest to her and just go, "Hello, anybody home?"
Anybody? Ooh, you hear like a little brief, not a huge echo, but you know, it's just not an echo as much of it's in hollow as you can hear your voice carry throughout this very empty hall. It's kind of dark in there, but there are some rays of light that are able to light and give you a decent understanding of what's inside. What you see in this square temple is towards the rear, about maybe 60 feet to the back of the room. These arched ceilings. There's this huge, beautiful idol of Farika, and she is depicted as this coiled, very large, lower half coiled snake with her hands outstretched, a kind of helmet or a visor over her head, 2 snakes protruding from her chest, multiple from her back. And that's kind of what you see. And she has kind of give me a second here. And so you see that statue, and more so a silhouette of it. At the center of the room, you see what looks to be a fountain that's not spouting any water. It seems to be in disuse. And around the room fits broken wooden tables, clay and glass jars are scattered all about. There's a couple of wooden boxes or crates. It looks like mortals came in here and set up some kind of, there's one table that's half set up like some kind of weird alchemy lab, but things are in such disrepair. But because of the way they're broken, there appears there could be some foul play, but there also are no bodies scattered around this room. Now, towards the center of the room where that fountain is, on either side of the fountain is a column. And that's what you see from without going in and investigating any further.
I'm gonna turn around to the group and be like, "Hey guys, it looks like it's empty. I'm gonna go check out a little bit more," and I just dip in.
I'll teleport up there.
So inside the room, like I said, Fitz doesn't see any corpses in the perimeter, but
I'll go
Zan
over to
walks
the
in right
fountain.
behind her. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to head in to try to back them up. I'm not going to be able to find anything, but just to help.
I'd like to go a little longer. If you guys would, I'd like to take a few minutes to set something up for you to look at. Is that fair?
Yeah,
or
sure, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So give me a couple minutes, and I'll let you guys role play amongst yourselves as you guys have entered inside the pavilion.
Hey guys, I'd like to kill you with a dangerous beast that I've hidden in this temple. If you could give me just a minute to set that up.
10 gold says Bacchus ran this whole spot.
Right?
To
Like
get the pixie dust for the
Yeah.
party.
I'm just hoping that it's not run by the sister of the Medusa we killed. That would be not great.
That would not be great.
On
Yeah,
the
no, I'm not
list
trying
of
to find-
things that
I
would
mean,
not
we
be great.
are fucking with the guy that likes organs.
Then it's
How does that
Apodexis
head-
literally come in with a fucking head.
that's
bomb.
tomorrow, Nick. Oh man, Nick, you're not gonna be there, huh?
No.
Did you guys
I'm
have
so disappointed.
Did you guys have colors chosen out already? Is it a good color at least?
I don't even think so. I think we're all wearing like periwinkle.
I'm gonna pretend like I know what periwinkle is.
It's like a really gross blue purple. This is what you do for your friends.
I'm so sorry.
purple.
I
so
get to go
sorry.
pay. I get to go pay $300 for a dress that I'll never wear again. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait.
When's the actual thing?
It's about, I think it's in June or July. I'm a horrible friend. I should know this off the top of my head. But the lead time for bridesmaids dresses is about 4 months.
4 months.
That's so rough because like you can diet and do all sorts of stuff in 4 months. Like that's
Yeah. Well, and you usually have to pay for alterations anyway, because everyone's going to need to get it hemmed.
got it.
So.
Yeah, makes sense. A
Right.
little bit of an extra charge in 4 months. Good
Yeah.
times.
We just sock that away real quick.
Oh man. Nick, you're not actually the squirrel in the bag, bro.
I feel like him.
This is the one character Nick is like, I can role play without actually having to role play. I'm just gonna fall asleep.
I'm gonna take a nap, and if I snore, it's just part of the game.
My mom loves it. Anytime we talk about a game she watches, she's like, I love that guy who is always pretending to be asleep. It makes me so sleepy. It's great.
Oh,
She's our biggest fan, you guys.
Dude, she's amazing. Yeah, having her on for that one game was
Let her know she's welcome back anytime.
Oh my god, she's such a good sport. I got her dice for Christmas. I'm trying to slowly draw her in.
There you go.
I did the same thing for my parents. Like they're in their almost 60s, so my dad plays, so that's really fun.
Oh my god. I tried to get my family to all play for Christmas a few years ago, but we just couldn't make it work. And ever since my mom was like, so I made that character. Maybe one of these days.
Gotta get her in it.
Yeah. We gotta get a one shot going or something for her.
Yeah.
It was the greatest thing. Like, what's up?
Gotta get a one shot going or something, bro. Maybe.
Renee's one shots aren't one shots. They're not one shots.
They really aren't.
I just
don't think any of our one shots are one shots.
I've only got to play with you once, man.
The only one shot that I've done is the one that I ran when I first started DMing for all of you all. And then the one that I wrote that Mel ran for us.
I've still never played that one.
So I think if I'm gonna do anyone, I'll do that one. Because I wrote it already. So it's like there's no prep.
Let us know. Let me know. So I can hop in that. And then we can get Nikki and Nikki's mom in it too.
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
That would be so great.
Especially because there's that one section, right, where you get to just ride owlbears on the in Drome in Eberron. It's pretty cool.
No, if it's an Eberron one shot, don't. You guys sign up for a lot more than you expect.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Nikki, that was like the coolest thing. Like I told my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law when they came for Christmas, like they came with their minis. I had no idea they were bringing them, and they're like, "All right, we got our dice, we got our character sheets, we got our minis." I'm like,
"Yes!"
They're like, "No,
conversion complete."
I was like, "Oh my god, it's so amazing."
Had they not played before?
My brother-in-law plays occasionally. And he brought his new girlfriend in, so she was like all in. And then my sister-in-law and her fiance had played last Christmas when they came, and so that's only his like second time playing. And so my wife for Christmas had got me the paper 10 Towns from Rime of the Frost Maiden. So there you can take off the roofs and you can play on the actual different levels of it. And so he hadn't seen stuff like that. Like he had seen some terrain, and then we played with that. And he's just like, "This is cool." And my kids were playing with us. My kids played for like 5 minutes. They booked it, and then I ran the game for the next 2 hours for all the adults. So, like when he was playing, he's just like, "That's it? No. He said we only went through one building. There's still 2 more we need to finish." So.
Addicting.
It is.
Oh man.
And then we were supposed to begin like our D&D club January, and it's just too many kids getting sick, and it's
I hear it's been a hot mess in the schools.
God, it's like we had to cancel every in-person meeting, so every club. And like for some of my kids, like D&D is what calms them down with their anxiety. So they're just like, I'm like, look, if you want to play outside, we can play outside on the benches. It's nice. I got the battle mat. We can do that if you want. And they're just like, can we do it? I'm like, yeah. So
how many of y'all are teachers? Just you and Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, my sister just told me that my nephew is starting to have his COVID absences counted against his actual attendance days. And they're out here trying to hold him back because they sent him home because he was coughing.
So you're given 7 absences in California, and then after that, no matter what the case is, it starts counting against you. And I thought that was stupid.
Really?
They're sending him home.
They
sent him home for 5 days, 3 times.
Yeah, they don't. No, we haven't done that yet. Jeez,
I
did not know about that.
Like I was like, screw it, we'll
up.
pull him out and put him in private school and whatever. You're not holding him back. Y'all tripping.
That's ridiculous.
He's got 1 C. Everything else is A's.
My nephew's school, like right after, like 2 years after he graduated or something like that, they had the whole COVID outbreak and sent everyone home. And it was during graduation, and they're like, "You guys missed way too much, so they have to redo their entire."
That's bullshit.
That doesn't make
Oh,
sense.
100%.
Stupid. That
I was like, I'm so happy I'm not your guys' age right now.
That's crazy.
That's ludicrous.
Like if you want to know like a dean that's got to like hide, or principal's got, somebody's catching these ants. Like there's no way you won't come here and tell me I'm not graduating right now as an 18-year-old.
Totally.
Expect not to get the violence.
I mean,
we are egging your house.
Dude, parents would
seniors like, and
here
for
we
some of them, like, yeah, I mean, I had seniors and some were just like, look, I need to go out and work because I was the one helping mom with, rent and stuff. Like, and they're like, I'll get to it when I can, because it was all remote work. And I'm like, that's perfectly fine. Like, dude, you do you when you can. I'm like, just make sure that you give me the work. And most of them did. Like, I didn't fail any seniors. And they were like in seniors that had already failed the freshman class, so they had me. Because the rule is you can't have the same teacher twice. So they didn't have me, they had somebody else. And I was just like, I'm not gonna fail you for that. Like, that's stupid. Like, you're doing the work, you're working, you're taking on adult responsibilities. Oh, while you're 18. Like, come on.
Crazy.
It's just, I've heard about that, and they've started to do that. It's just like, come on, where are they supposed to go? And
I was about to have problems, dude.
Yeah.
Wow,
it's just ridiculous.
I did not.
I'm getting ready to be down there at the school board, man. We're gonna be out there. They're gonna have to deal with all that, grandma, everybody. And we bring the whole family.
No, that's exactly what you should do. Because as far as, I mean, and Eric knows this, like, as far as teachers wise, like, we can only do so much. It's actually the parents, the real stakeholders that have a say and stuff like that. Because we make recommendations and we say, like, this isn't right, but in the end they're just like, yeah, thank you, we'll take your opinion into consideration. And it's
because as Renee knows, they always listen to us.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't matter which state you're in.
Sorry to hijack your game in real life there for a second, Mel. I apologize.
Oh no, you're good. So now that's all craziness. But as you enter this temple, this very kind of beautiful, like I said, grove, forest growing around it, Fitz and Zen have entered together, and as everyone else is slowly approaching, as you look around and as you see what I've actually also shared with you, you can see like the disuse that you probably can't see. I don't have the top over camera, but there are kind of tables all smattered about, and there's a couple of crates and one table over in the corner close to the front that still have a couple of glass jars and things like that full. And so I'm just wondering where do you go to, what are you looking at, either of you, all of you, but starting with maybe Fitz or Zen.
If Fitz heard a little bit of an echo, she's gonna go, Marco, and listen to see if she hears anything, and then skip over to the crates and search around the crates.
There is no response on the Marco. And as she goes over to the crates, they are mostly empty, busted, and there's a bit of like hay packaging all over the place. Can I have a investigation check from her?
$16.
So the table near the crates, the one that has a couple of jars, she finds one jar that is corked, and inside of it there appears to be the body of a little humanoid, a little pale person, and as it floats in this liquid, it moves on it. It kind of moves, and as it floats in there, it clearly looks dead. Probably could fit in like maybe like Taroxy's hand. You can see that there's little notches in the back where the wings have been ripped out, and along the rest of the table there's a mallet, and there's pieces of this translucent like film scattered over the table, which looks like, as you look at it, it kind of looks like the texture of insect or bee-like or butterfly wings. And at the end of the table, particles, dust, like glitter all in the grooves of the wood.
Is this how they make pixie dust? It's not just like a fancy name, like they actually do things to the pixies?
What are you talking about?
Look at this!
I'll trot over. Oh. Oh. Wow.
I feel so horrible for feeling so good.
As everyone else starts to, unless you're not arriving, I imagine everyone's slowly starting to like peer into the room.
Maybe we should stop this, Fitz.
Fitz passes out.
Oh boy.
Her head hits the back of like the stone floor. Her like hoof is kicking for a second.
I see everyone, whoever's walking in, I'm just like,
Apple will walk over.
she passed out again, guys. I don't know what to do.
What did she see?
Lift her legs.
That points to the table.
As I'm coming in, I'm going to use a divine sense, and mostly to see if this area is still hallowed.
And you get a sense. Wait 1 second. You don't sense any. Trying to see if there's anything here that I would. You don't necessarily sense evil. There were some terrible practices that happened here. They haven't. That's it's. You have a sense that it hasn't happened recently. It hasn't been there in some time. You do get a sense that this, as Fitz is kind of passed out and as Zen is looking over it, this is a process to how they made the pixie dust. Zen and Prometheus, could I get a perception check with advantage?
Okay. So just regular perception.
Yes.
So we're all exhausted, yeah.
Natural 1.
So regular. Oh.
All right, regular. 24.
So with the 24, Zen notices that the setup here is not the natural order of this temple or the way it was set up. People moved in and set this stuff up, but in also addition, you see there's a statue of a female satyr, almost like in priest garments, and she seems to be offering up a bowl at the center of the room to this large statue of Farika here. Now, around this fountain that's not running is kind of like a stale looking water. And then there are columns. One column is directly here, right adjacent. Another column is here directly adjacent to the fountain, but it has been broken and shattered and remnants of it are on the ground. Another column here on the opposite side is there. And there's another column over here, but it's not directly adjacent. And you do notice that there's a groove in the flooring as though it moved along a track. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He will attempt to do it himself, but most likely fail, and is pretty much kind of waiting for Taroxys to enter the building.
Taroxys there.
Apple and Taroxys are in there.
Oh, okay.
There were a few of us who were good at athletics. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like not just Taroxys.
There are some of us that are
not
really
the only
good at
strong man
survival,
here,
not
bro.
just the druids.
So before Apple decides to do that, once he sees the statue of Farika, could he investigate to see if there's any sign of any Medusa?
Yeah, so Apple is kind of, so what is Apple's he's the ranger, he's kind of like the, so now, and I remember what I said. This temple is approachable from the front, where you guys came in through the front door. And then you'll notice, I know I don't have the best representation here, but if I pull back a bit, there are
like
openings on the
Aztec
side,
temple?
like an aspect temple, where you can walk in from the sides as well, but you cannot walk in from the. So how does Apple go about checking the surrounding areas?
He would look for any signs of stone that's a little too smooth, no pebbles around it, especially around the tracks.
Okay. Can I have investigation here?
Yeah.
From you.
18.
15?
18.
18. Okay. Nothing that looks too smooth. Nothing in the immediate area. Though, when you glance over your shoulder for a second outside in the surrounding garden, you see what looks like, you notice that one of the trees, one of the little short trees outside, actually looks like a person more than a tree, in terms of like its pose. But there are flowers and foliage growing off of it. It's not just a statue. But since you're looking for that, since you're hyper aware of a Gorgon or a Medusa, you do see a tree that looks like a person. And it's outside, it's not in the temple.
Yes, I would let Pythias know that there is a tree that could possibly be a statue or something else. And I guess he would go out and start to investigate that as well.
Is the squirrel sleeping, Proxinos? The squirrel is just like, and if so, where?
He's in the backpack that Trox is carrying.
Just knocked out.
Taroxes will walk up to the statue, pull out the Medusa head and lay it down as an offering.
I'm sorry, and I literally went left. Zen, what'd you get roll on your athletics check?
Oh shit! You actually
did you even do it? Yeah.
I was just like RPing that he's trying to push it, but it ain't going anywhere.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, give me an athletics check. I don't know.
Yeah. You never know.
All right. I mean, I'm good with athletics, but I thought this was just going to be a straight strength check. That makes sense. That's a 10.
Okay.
Just pushing.
So you push on it, and it budges slightly. It kind of goes. Only because it's literally on some kind of movable track under the floor that you can see notched. At that time, Taroxy's boom, huge hoofs walking across the room, the statue, and then pulling the bronze head out and lying it on the ground before Farika. As you do that, Taroxys, it lies there. Nothing happens. So I don't know what you do next.
It's just leaving it as an offering. He doesn't think there's any use for it anymore, but it's pretty and it has snakes like the snake statue. He's never really interacted with Farika, but he was like snake with snake. Perfect offering.
Anyone else? If
would
Fitz, how you want a con save to see if you wake up?
Yeah. My question: did anyone else stay back with Talmoon when Fitz passed out, or did everybody just go in, investigate while Talmoon stayed with her?
6.
Yeah. A 6.
If Talmoon's trying to wake her up, I'll give her advantage. One more roll.
Yeah, Talmoon's waking her up.
But this
I feel like everyone's gotten so used to it that it's like not even a thing anymore.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. Yeah. She'll be fine.
They're like slapping either side of my face. That was an 11.
that'll do it at 10. As you slowly, she like wakes up and immediately is slammed with the ideas of poor like pixies and the fact that you may have snorted their wings.
Oh, the world is so cruel.
Yeah. While we're down here, Telmoon kneeling next to her will say, This is your story. This is for you to decide. And I'll slip the letter into her hand. Like, you can talk to us about that when you're ready.
I read it.
Oh, you want to read it right here? Okay.
Damn.
Hell yeah. I don't know what the hell you just gave me.
Now, while this is happening, Apple, is it worth checking out this figure outside that looks like a person? Do you leave that alone?
I would go out there and just, I'd be wary about it and have the blade out and then investigate it.
Since he specifically warned me, can I also go to back him up?
You may.
Split the party 3 ways.
Pythias and Pythias and specifically Apple go outdoors, and as you approach this tree, you've already rolled to investigate. So as you start to get a little closer, you can tell that like you reach out and you look at the soil and kind of like there's like a bark growing over it, and as you pull it away, almost like an ancient chia pet, there is a statue of a man underneath, wearing the garbs of a bandit or a smuggler, and wearing a face of terror, and seems to have like almost like been coated over with a type of herbal or natural substance that just turned him into just made plants grow off of it. And as you, Pythias, can I give a perception check from you?
Okay. 7.
So Pythias, you are starting to notice essentially the same thing. And you are both kind of recognizing that is strange, and it is akin to what you know about the Gorgon, if that's so. Yeah. Back inside, Fitz has just woken up. And Asteros, what are you doing?
I will be with I'll be with our 2 little satyr friends.
Okay. So Fitz, you come to, and you've just read the note. Now you know that Bach is told to be wary of you to some degree. I don't know what that makes you feel like.
Doesn't make any sense. I thought he'd be really excited about a really awesome, super cool party. He's kind of like the dude that's all about super cool parties. That's so weird. Okay, well, shoot. Okay, I never really thought about where pixie dust comes from, and now I'm feeling really bad about it, Telmoon.
Mal, would I have known, or is this how we get our pixie dust too, as satyrs?
Did you, as a satyr, ever use it from your homeland?
I mean, it's a revelry, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure we've used whatever.
I think I think from where you're at,
more
naturally. I gotta roll that for myself. Let me see.
Yeah, because
y'all had to be like way more magic mushroom people than fairy dust people.
Yeah, I think it's more magic, and I think the few times you guys have used the pixie dust, it's offered by old pixies who no longer use their wings. And
correct. Yeah, I figured we had a different way to.
There's a different
way
to source it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is inhumane. These mortals, they have no respect for the Fae.
This isn't normal, right? Is this how it's all made? Because I feel horrible right now.
I have a feeling that this is probably not as uncommon as we think.
What do we do?
Well, definitely not start this place back up.
Yeah, good idea. Maybe it's good that it just stays lost.
We can come up with a story for our friend later.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've asked Zen to stay quiet about the letter. You choose when you want to talk to us about it.
Okay.
Apple, suddenly you hear the creaking of a bow becoming very, 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 very taut. And it says, be very careful, Leonin, and Triton. I could strike you both in the heart with one, before you can take another breath. And as you both look over in the tree line, there's a very statuesque woman has drawn a bow, but she has a blindfold on across her eyes, and her hair is writhing in snakes, but her eyes are covered. She is a Gorgon. She has slithered up. Are you here to desecrate Farika's temple? The others coming to claim the magic here?
I could see your temple hasn't been used as such in a long time. We didn't know what was happening here. Are you the protector?
I am the guardian of these grounds. I warned the mortals that came before that Farika would no longer tolerate their abuse of the pixies. Are you here to take their place?
We are not.
We came seeking the path of the artist Exekius. Did he pass through here?
Exekius.
We were told that he was on a path to Skola Vale, but he was stopping in a temple to Farika.
She moves like she hears, how many of you, how many others are there of you? And then suddenly, like around the place, there are like 20 little like lights that begin to flutter as there are little pixies floating above her, like all around them, and they all have like little like bows drawn on all of the pillars.
And Apple will raise.
And they kind of like just, and they're like kind of just buzzing about.
Apple will put his sword back and just raise his hands. There's 6 more of us.
Can I have a persuasion check from? I'm gonna go with this on Pythias. Pythias, you really led. Let's.
Okay. And I'm still at disadvantage because I'm exhausted. But that's a 21.
So you are not here to reinstate the cruelty that those before you did. If so, if I am to trust you, she kind of like explain. She draws like, she brings the bow back in, but the little characters continue to flutter. Bring the rest of your group out if you say you are who you are to face me. Her bow, she's no longer aimed at you. And she says, well, tell me how you found this place.
We knew this was a source of pixie dust, but we didn't know what was happening here. We had a map from a dealer in Akros.
And then she seems to like tip her head as though to like be listening to something else. She slithers from beyond the foliage. She goes. She kind of looks at like almost like she will go in, and she slithers past you, and now where everyone can see her, slithers past Pythias and Apo into the sanctuary, and looks. And everyone else kind of, as you start to see her, I don't know how you react, but she goes, if you keep your weapons away, I will keep mine. To fair.
Be cool, everyone.
And as you see Apo and Pythias by her side, kind of like behind her, she's still, and the little dancing lights of pixies like kind of all clustering around them, these little like arrows drawn. Please note that those mortals that came before you have been served justice. They now are the trees that will create the medicine and the poisons as Farika wills it. I suggest you leave here. There is nothing here for you. Leave me and my pixies be. And then she looks.
We clean up inside because this is so sad, right?
And she's and actually she can't. She doesn't sense this. So this Troxy's kind of imagine there's this Gorgon head right below on the she can just kind of sense everyone else as she's not looking. As you can see, I have blindfolded myself as I choose who I petrify. If you are souls that are willing to move on, then whatever you wish to find here, you have found it. And then to Pythias, she says, this Ezekias you speak of, what do you know of him?
We've heard a lot of conflicting things. We know he's a great artist, and it sounds like he created some kind of apparatus to make pictures without painting. And he created pieces for the gods, but Heliod was jealous of him. Some people say that Heliod took his hands, and some people say that that didn't happen. But it also sounds like he used to be wealthy and successful and then squandered it away. And that he, after doing that, he went back to Skola Vale, supposedly to make his greatest work.
What will you do with him when you find him?
I mean, our goal was just to find information. Fitz had a painting of his that might be important to find out about her own history.
That's me. That's true.
Do you want a handkerchief or something?
Do you have one? That would be so nice.
It's kind of wet, but yes.
So she moves over, and grabbing one of her hands, she starts to kind of push on the column. She pushes it forward until it locks into place, and then it sets. It kind of drops down and sets into place, like all the other three around it. And then she points. She looks at everyone who's Taroxy seems. She notices that this pillar is broken. Can you stand? She kind of looks again. Can you stand there to Taroxy's?
Very well.
And so as he stands on the spot, grabbing the column, his weight replaces the portion that is broken. So as that column now goes back into a settled place, the water begins to flow out of the bowl of the lady of the statue, and that crystal clear water starts to flow down over the fountain. And as it does, all the little pixies start to get like excited, and they get to flutter around and like lap at the water and like play in the water. And you all get the feeling or the understanding is that this was a sacred place that Farika has created for the wilds of these fey creatures. And when that place, when those columns were all set in place, the fountain would run, and that is where they would come in droves, because the pixies found it irresistible, where they would be captured and then murdered and then used. And so then she takes a lap full of water, like she takes like a bowl full of water, the Gorgon, and walks it over to the statue. And as she flings it out, the water splashes like it's on something, but it splashes against like almost like against a wall, but it doesn't even hit the statue. It just kind of hits and it stays and it begins to swirl. And as she slithers away back from it, if you are looking for Exekias, this is the path he took. A shortcut to the Skola Vale. Pass if you see fit. I don't know if there's anything else you guys ask of her or else want from her, but you can cross over or you can go back and go the other way you came.
Yeah, no. Telman will bow and walk through. He thinks the Skull of Vale is a safer place to sleep than this. So
Probably.
Bo will just look at her and just say, "Thank you for your kindness."
It is treated as more of respect. And she nods her head.
And he walks through.
Can I ask you one thing, Leonin?
Yes.
Wherever you go from here, whatever polis you find yourself in, whatever tavern you tell, for every mortal that speaks or that you see sniffing the dust, tell them, do not return here, for I will be waiting. And I will add them to my garden. And then she turns and like slithers back outside, and the little pixies after kind of all like float away from the fountain and disperse. And now the portal is still just like this. There's a portal of water just kind of like rolling in front of the statue of Farika.
So Apple will go through and join Tillman.
yeah, I'm like, hey, y'all just gonna leave Telman to the Skull of Vale by himself?
It's a process.
Nice knowing y'all.
I mean, I was gonna go through, but
I mean,
you know,
I
she
don't
kinda
really
stopped me.
want to go through, to be honest. After reading the letter.
No, we'll see.
You'll tell.
I'm gonna. It's not like proper worship at all, but I'll make like a small salute to the statue of Farika and step through the portal.
Yeah.
Mal, can I actually catch up to the Gorgon before it
Yes.
leaves the area?
She turns. And you can tell she like kind of like she almost swivels like with she almost brings the bow up, but she stops, she leaves it like low, and she just feels you kind of closing on her. Yes.
No need for that. I know very little about the lady you worship, but I know enough that she helps people out sometimes. And are you aware that there's a disease that's currently like spreading and harming people?
I do not.
We were told that there was a disease that's happening in Meltis right now, And I was just wondering if maybe you could help out with that.
Can you explain to me? There are many diseases. What are the symptoms? How do people get it?
I cannot remember if we were told that the scorpion's the cause of them or not.
Yeah. So say whatever you think it is.
So I don't know the symptoms because we never really ran into them, but apparently there's this guy that like bursts into a bunch of bugs and plagues them. I don't know really, but I just figured maybe you could ask her if she knows and if she could help.
If you understand Farika like I do, then you know that she creates as deadly a poison as she creates the most bountiful cure. So if this is out there, maybe she wills it. Unless it's a poison, perhaps by another god, she may not like if her poisons are being used in the wrong ways.
I don't think she made it. I think this is someone else, something else. I'm not totally sure. But there's some people I know in the cities, and I don't know if they're sick or not. And if they are, I'd like to help them.
Take this. And she pulls out like an icon of the symbol of Farika, a little metal piece, and inside of it, in the center where the two snakes come to looking at each other, is a small little glass vial of water. She says, on the other side of the portal, when you come back, break this, and it will bring you back to this point. If I have found any new information, I will share it with you.
He will bow to her, even though she's blindfolded. Take the pendant and put it around his neck and underneath his garb. Thank you. Hope to hear something good when we come back, if we come back.
If you come back, yes. And as he steps away from her and Zen crosses over the portal, eventually they all find themselves there in a very beautiful glade. It almost seems like night has shifted. It seems like several hours have jumped. As they cross over into Sculavale, they can see a bit of the starry sky beginning to appear above them. And Telmoon knows he's home. He knows he's not at his village, but he knows he knows the surrounding area. Fitz feels a feeling of like wonder and a familiarity with the place and all the trees and the plants around you. Things, when you move close to flowers, they almost blossom. Some of them open up with teeth. Some of them glow with a fluorescent color. Bugs and birds flutter about. It is both jungle and forest. It is magnificent. And it all seems to light itself, even without Heliod's sun. Are there any last moments as the party crosses over into the Sculavale? Or anything that anyone wants to share before we close?
I guess we're probably going to have a turning point with our friend Baramon. Maybe not be so friendly anymore.
Yep. I was thinking that.
Fitz, before she leaves through the portal, Fitz is going to take the little bottle that has the fairy in it, the pixie in it, and she's going to walk up to the statue and say, I don't want to keep this, but I need to keep this, because if people don't know that this is how this is made, I need to show them. And I hope that's okay. And I hope I never have to look at it again. And then she's going to put it in her pocket and walk through the portal.
And as she walks over onto the other side, we see the party kind of enveloped by the trees around them. And as we kind of pull up somewhere in the night sky, we hear a familiar voice. Not the party knows, but as we all know to be that voice of THEROS. And as he says, do you think this is going to work? And then a new voice says, it has to. I believe in them. And as we kind of pull back over the forest, there almost seems to be a tree too big to actually be within the scene that we see as we see the party, but a very slender, elegant woman with like wolf pelts on her and leaves watches the party. Nylea, and she kind of pulls a bow and aims it at them and fires it, and that little light, it doesn't even turn into an arrow, it just kind of leaves into a swirling little light, and it bursts down into there, boom, and it just kind of flashes a kind of blessing, a kind of inspiration, as she knows what they have, what will come ahead of them. And she smiles, and we'll fade to black, and we'll end tonight's tale. Good game. No combat.
Yeah.